Rover. Red Rover. What's ring?
This is a Merida ring.
That's cute. I like the Merida bag that you hate. How do you like that? Red Rover.
And look at this one. This one is
Show
like
me
supposed to be the fairies
money.
from Sleeping Beauty.
That's all right. It's an all right ring.
Did it start yet?
Yeah. We started the stream. Woo. You like that? Do you like my announcement for the stream start? Yeah. I like the woo. What up, dude? What up, Brett? What up, brother? I love you. Tomorrow is always a day. Do you like that?
I just realized you didn't take me to the movies to see Ariel.
I did not take you to the movies on purpose. I'm just kidding. I forgot. So did you. So we're all here. Rob and Dan are live. That's weird. Does this work? Ooh, it does. What's up, guys? Have I seen the new Spider-Man movie? Heck no, dude.
Hello.
Frick no, bro. You think I give a darn about that dingle? What do you think? What do you think about that?
Sounds good.
Do you think I give a frick about that frack? I'm just kidding. We haven't seen it though. I don't know if we're gonna. Do you want to see Spider-Man?
Do
you want to see?
No.
Do you want to see Spider Daddy?
No.
Spider-Man. Do you think that Spider-Man is real?
Thanks, barbecue.
Do you think that Spider-Man is real?
I like Spider-Man.
Okay.
I was in New York City going to meet Bam Margera,
Yeah,
which
me
I
too.
wound up not meeting him.
Yeah.
When they were
Was
shooting.
he drunk or?
No, he was shooting Jackass too. It was at the Element store, but I got to meet like Mike Vallely and a whole bunch of other skaters.
Who's Mike Fidelli?
Mike Vallely.
What that means?
He's a skateboarder.
Ah, a skateboard.
And
I like a good skateboard.
they were shooting Spider-Man 2, and I saw Tobey Maguire. Is that his name, or is that the Spider-Man's name?
Tobey Maguire is the name of the actor.
Oh.
It's Peter Parker is the name
Peter
Parker is the name of the spider.
And Kirsten Dunst. I had pictures of them, and then I brought them
Was
into
she
school.
kind of stupid? Get it? Because she's a dunce.
Yes.
She's a silly boy. Is this the video you were talking about the other day?
Yeah.
You want to watch that on
big
stream?
old piece of shit.
You want to? Let's do that on stream. This is a terrible one. Ooh, I love you tomorrow.
Wow. YouTube is profound.
What happened? What happened on YouTube?
You can't go to our channel from our live.
What do you mean? You can do it. Oh, there was that whole thing that we're like, oh, I forgot. There was this. I want to watch this too. It's the thing where like you can't go into graduation with your kids. That's wild to me. We're gonna talk about that too. We got some fun little things. Whoa. Okay.
How does one go to our channel on some device?
How do we go to your channel? Go on the YouTube, my love. What up, nerds? Oh, you know, I don't know if I could find the that post, the Down syndrome post. You remember where it is? Stinkabunk?
I do not.
You better find it. Well, I will roundhouse you. I'm just kidding. Oh, this might be it. The Lucky Few? Is that it? Oh, here it is. Yeah, I found it. I'm so good. On my mama. On my something. What, you know what I'm talking about?
My swag.
What a day. How is everybody today? How are you today? Somebody asked, Rob, do you have any tips for those that are going to go into drug treatment and the like?
Like professionally?
I guess.
For those about to go into drug treatment and the like. I do not honestly have any tips. I don't know much about that.
I got a tip for you. Oh, you know what I'm
That
saying?
population, to be
Sorry,
quite
this
honest.
isn't appropriate. How's everybody doing today? Sorry, we just had a little bit of a late start here, a little bit of a rough start. Is there anything that you wanted to talk about on the list?
Me? No.
Yeah, you. Who else? Who else
It's
is
already
my wife?
9 o'clock.
Yes, that's a good thing. It's late. It's fun when it's late.
Eh.
Eh. Eh. You're so silly. All right. Well, I don't want to start off with a heavy topic, but you know what I am going to do? You have to hear what we're about to talk about. We're doing video reviews, babe. We're reviewing. We got to review Adam Sandler, this guy that's really mean to his wife. Then the Graduation Kids, and then I kind of want to have you watch some of these red flag videos because I think they're kind of funny.
All right, are we getting started?
I want to give you a kiss. You know what's crazy today, guys? My car stopped working randomly. I don't even know what happened. It just stopped working. We got the stop sign. I hit the brake, and the car wouldn't move after we went to go. I required a toll to be paid.
I had to pay the kiss tax. The kiss tax. You gotta pay the kiss tax if you want to move the car.
Okay. All right.
Did you like it?
Somebody
You
did.
loved it, I think.
Somebody
You
did.
just hated it, but you loved it.
This is so cringe.
Just like, what did I do when we were picking up the food?
What did you do?
I can't.
Oh yeah, my wife likes to pretend that she's a rooster to scare people sometimes outside the car.
That was the first time I did it.
No, you do that.
Usually I bark.
You'll bark sometimes.
Hmm.
Oh, you're a fucking animal, my love.
All right, everybody.
Wait, I gotta set up the thing so we can get into this.
Hi, everyone. Today is Robin Dan Day.
That's true. It is Robin
Dan Day.
Day.
It is 6/3 of the Robin Dan 6/3.
Yep.
On this day 4 years ago, he was at work and we were on the phone, and he had the realization that we didn't have a date.
I know the realization. I didn't care.
No, that's how it came about. You were like, oh, like, we don't have a date. Like, what would be our date? And I made him realize that he had never asked me to be his girlfriend, even though we were already basically married for like
she told me that she
6
loved
months.
Me first. Yeah.
He had told me that he loved me about 4 months prior.
No.
And so on this day 4 years ago, he finally asked me to be his girlfriend, and it became our dating anniversary.
Yeah. So you told me that you loved me first. I was like, I guess, and here we are now. In love.
Married.
Incredible stuff. You have your wedding ring on? I don't know where it is. Right there.
Are you kidding me?
I don't know. It's somewhere in the house.
Well, happy Robin Dan Day.
We haven't been wearing it because we've had like eczema on our hands.
I've been wearing mine now for a few weeks.
I got to get back into it. I'm sorry.
Damn. Not married.
Go get it.
I don't want to get up.
Go get it. I'll fight you.
I'll fight you anyways.
I know. You'll always lose, though.
No.
You got that video?
Yeah,
the video
I do.
of us fighting? Send it to me.
On Instagram?
Yeah, send it to me. It's so stupid. The sneeze tax. The sneeze tax. What do we think about sneezing? Let me set up the thing so we can actually get into some content. It's been a while since we've done anything, hasn't it? Hasn't it? It's been a while.
Isn't it?
Isn't it? It's been a while, isn't it? It's been a while, Governor.
The cheese tax. When those videos started going around, I loved it. And I remember there was this video. I don't know what kind of dogs they were, but they had like a snoot. Like it was a long nose.
And all those little snoot sniffers.
She made the video. She had like 2 or 3 with the dogs with the long snoot. And then she never fed them the cheese, so they couldn't pay the cheese tax. And it made me so upset.
They probably died.
Maybe. You have to bring it back.
Oh, wait, hold
on. You gotta pay the cheese tax.
You hate dogs. I feel you. I don't hate dogs, but I'm too old now. I gotta move back more? You gotta get up pretty early to beat our deals. You remember that? Are you good? Do you have it both in?
No.
Damn, we gotta get a better setup. We gotta invest more money into Bitcoin.
Hey.
How about now?
How about now what?
Is it better?
Yeah.
You're lying. Put the other earbud in.
I don't want to.
I want you to be fully engaged.
So I could scream?
What does that mean? So you could scream?
I can't. If I put both in, I can't hear nothing.
What? Why? Talk again.
I'm talking to you. He's hurting me. He's hurting me.
I'm trying to pause it. I can't. Stop. Oh, baby, you're terrible. You're going to get me beat up one day. Let's see if I can play this for them.
You deserve it.
Wait, what the fuck did I just do? Oh, yeah, that's fine. This is what my wife today. She took this video.
He's hurting me. He's hurting me. He's hurting me. He's hurting me. That's evidence.
The abuse. Epic abuse by Papa God. You guys think about that? Do you think that she deserved it? Put one in the chat if my wife deserves to get hit. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. All right. Let's start off with this. You actually saw this in your For You page, but it was in my For You page as well, which means it's a For Us page, and that's why we're married. How beautiful. Anyway, it's a video of this guy. Apparently, the wife has terminal cancer. Right? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
And he's just berating her like horribly. The kids are upset. It's wild, bro. So we're going to play it for you. We're going to upset you guys as much as we got upset by watching it. That is crazy that I even did that. Let's go. Oh, it's not even active. Let's go.
I hate you, Catherine. I hate you. I regret every minute of my life the fact that I met you. This is quite possibly one of the most heartbreaking videos that I have ever created.
Can I just say though, I know that like I'm a buzzkill, but this guy annoys me.
Why?
Because I watched this video already, and he's just like pretends to cry.
Does he?
It seems like he has this like intentional somber tone. Like I get it. Like we shouldn't be like, hey guys, look at this video here. Drop the beat. And then play like, exactly. We shouldn't be doing that. That's inappropriate. But at the same time, it feels forced to me.
Mm.
You know, it feels a little performative. Not that he's a bad guy. It's just like the weird way the internet works.
And it does not have a happy ending. And with that, I give an extreme trigger warning.
So hate you, and I'll be filing for divorce as soon as I possibly can.
Jesus. In this video is Alan Kassenoff. It may be pronounced Kassenoff, but I could not confirm that. In bed is his wife, Catherine. She had just had surgery from breast cancer a couple of days prior. Take a listen.
Take your daughter. I'm not taking her. I'm not taking her. She's spoiled. And I'm not taking her. She will be punished by not going today.
You're her parent,
I'm not
and you
taking
need
her.
to take her to school.
No, I'm not.
I cannot do it. I'm
then
in
she
bed.
Won't go.
I'm lying in bed. I can't do it.
Get her
I can't
out of
drive.
bed.
You take her to school, please.
Get her out of bed, and I'll take
Stop
her.
talking that horrible way to her.
Get her out of bed.
No.
She's spoiled.
You.
And I'm not dealing with her anymore. I will no longer take her to activities over the weekend. I will no longer do nice things for her. She will be treated the way everyone else gets treated.
And you need.
Why do you think he's acting like this?
Because he's a big ninny boy.
Okay. No, but I mean, like, why? I don't get it. Like, what do you think is going through his head that's making him berate his wife and to the point where he's not going to take his own child to a place of learning?
Because he's a big man baby and he doesn't know how to handle his emotions and therefore cannot deal with
but what
like
emotion
the
is he
behavior of a
experiencing?
child, frustration,
But like over
that your
what?
kid won't get out of bed.
You think that's what it is?
That's what I mean. He has issues, obviously, but yeah, that's what he's mad about right now, that his daughter's not getting up for school.
Because I can understand, like, if his wife has cancer, I can see why he could be frustrated because that could be rough. But like, this is insane. I would just be moody and I'd fart a lot or something.
No, this guy's a big piece of shit.
Yeah, I just don't get it because like usually I can see where people are coming from, but this guy's like a psychopath.
Yeah.
Despite her multiple battles with cancer, the abuse continues. And it all happens right in
She's got to fight the cancer and her husband at the same time. How terrible is that?
front of their
Damn, it's tragic. Sorry, that's inappropriate.
children.
Yeah, they will come. They will come.
I'm leaving.
Take your daughter. Go in there and say you're sorry. Say you're sorry.
No! No!
Say you're sorry.
Bro, he's literally a little kid running down to his bedroom, like in the basement.
I could never.
I don't understand. That's like me when I was like 14. I was like, no, mom.
I
Yeah.
could never. That's the type of man that you just laugh at him.
No, he catch a couple stacks, you know.
Money?
He would catch a couple. Yeah, sure. That's what I meant. Definitely. This is insane.
Stop it!
I do like the hippo thing though that they had. The coin purse.
Do not talk to Allie like that.
Stop. He left.
Recently, Catherine was diagnosed with more cancer.
Damn.
This time, it was terminal. But that doesn't stop Alan.
Let's try to calm him down. Alan, I have to go to my doctor now.
I'm leaving.
I need to.
What,
go
you
to
don't?
my
I don't
doctor.
care. That's what you don't understand. I
You
don't
need to
care.
calm down.
Bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, if you got diagnosed with terminal cancer, we got diagnosed with terminal cancer.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I'd be devastated. I can't even. Sometimes I can't even sleep through the night. I can't even sleep through the night sometimes. I'm thinking about like our future because one day this is gonna end. You know, I know that's really sad.
No, I know. I thought we told each other we weren't going to talk about it or think about it.
Sorry, don't get upset. I'm laughing because I'm upset. You're crying because you're upset.
I didn't cry.
It's a sad thing. You know, there's nights where I'll be on my phone and I'll be sitting there and I'm just like laying next to you. I'm like loving up on you, and you're like we're touching butts. You know what I mean? We're touching butts and we're farting on each other. And then like I'll touch you and then I'll have like the thought of like, oh, I don't know how many moments I'm gonna have like this, and I'll put my phone down and just
I
cuddle
can
you.
cry right now.
Isn't
I'm
this so
crying
terrible?
right now.
Isn't it terrible?
It's so horrible.
Baby, I'm a little teary eyed
so
too.
sad. There was one day I was at work and
Baby,
you
it's okay.
remember I snapped you because I made myself start hysterically crying because when we leave the house he gives me special kisses.
Yes.
Goodbye
yeah,
kisses.
Yes. Yeah.
And I thought about how one day
No, just stop.
they'll be like the last one. I'm literally crying.
Oh my god. This is terrible. You're terrible. Don't. I know what you mean. That is a sad thought.
It's so sad to think about, and then you have like big old pieces of shit like this. But like, I wonder what's going on. Maybe I'm just too judgmental.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, listen, because
because it's like I know she has cancer, but like, what are you doing? Like
what's going on in between the filming?
Well, no, like why? I don't know. It would surprise me if this behavior was unique to the cancer situation.
Okay.
So, like, I just question, like, what barriers may have been in place for her to not be able to leave.
I got what you're saying. Like, how come she didn't leave the situation earlier, kind of a thing.
Especially,
but not in a
with
way that's like
children.
fuck her. Like what you said. Like what barriers were in place? What would have prevented her from leaving?
Yeah.
You know. I don't know.
Cried.
Well, yeah, I know you cried a little bit. Yeah, it's an interesting scenario, but either way, like none of this behavior is justifiable because it's so hard because I want to understand like why is he this frustrated to this extent? You know, what's the what's the behavior that's going on? Like, why is this behavior happening?
This behavior shows that he is a man not meant to be a father, maybe even
sure.
a husband.
or or maybe he could have been a better off as a little puppy or an alligator. Yeah,
No, I do feel like there's people that are not meant to. There's obviously people that are not meant to be. Most definitely parents, and maybe even sometimes like a spouse, and like that's okay. But I think that family values and traditions push you to do those things.
Yeah.
And then stuff like this happens.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like there's an expectation that's like built up onto this guy to this point. But I mean, it's one thing to be angry, but like how horrible is this? I mean, your kids are screaming, you're storming out of the house, you're acting like a fucking belligerent piece of shit. What a terrible thing. And like I was saying before, I've been in bad relationships. I think we all have. And they brought the worst out of me where I've been like not my best self, but this is insane. Like I've never had this, colossal meltdown.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So let me continue.
I am leaving. I'm not dealing with these kids anymore. That's what you'll get.
You're not dealing with these kids anymore?
Are they not
They're
his
your
kids?
children.
Okay, never mind.
I have violin practice to do with Charlotte.
Well, now I get it. She has the audacity to have cancer and want to play violin. Now I understand why the husband's upset.
She's doing the violin lessons with her daughter.
I was making a joke, but is that what she said?
Yeah, it's because she says with Charlotte.
Oh well, this is why I need you because you listen and I'm the funny guy, and you're the serious girl.
I'm the serious guy.
I'm the funny girl. Girl, it's so bad because girls are not funny. Do you remember like the Monsters Inc. movie where there's like the guy with like 8 arms playing trying to like hit like fart things with a mallet, like whoopee cushions with a mallet?
What?
There's a meme I saw where it was from Monsters Incorporated, and there's a scene where like they're trying to make people laugh now. So it might be like some other Monsters movie, or at the show, and he's hitting a bunch of whoopee cushions with a mallet to make it fart, and like the caption said, "When your girlfriend's trying to be funny." I didn't say it to you because I thought it would be too mean.
That's funny. I am funny though.
Yeah, okay, funny looking. Nah, I'm kidding. You're very beautiful. I love
knew
you.
it.
No, okay, let's go.
Fat loser.
What'd you call me?
A fat loser.
Jesus.
One more time.
A fat, old loser who I hate.
Wait, what are you in fucking 4th grade?
My thing is like the
It's wild.
My thing is that it's very obvious that she's even recording, and he still doesn't hold back.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't care at all. It's crazy.
Say it again. Keep going.
Despite this evidence, Alan had Catherine arrested in 2022. Catherine fought the false allegations, and the courts believed her. They dropped everything that she was charged with.
When the piano started playing, did it lose you a little bit?
No.
But this is the heartbreaking part.
Okay.
In a post made a few days ago by Catherine, this is what she says. It is with profound heartbreak that I hope none of you experience. Today I am writing that this is my last post ever. Today is the end.
Feel better for her kids. What? Bro, I know it's a little much from the guy, right?
Yeah.
This is a horrible situation, but like when he overlays the piano and he goes and he starts like fake crying, because it's upsetting for sure. But like when it's like it's so performative, it fucks.
You weren't supposed to turn around.
Everybody could already tell.
nicely.
Everybody could already tell that he was making you cringe. I told you, it's too much. Like the narration is fine, but like the degree is.
Well, I was gonna have a conversation about that part of it after we got through the actual.
Oh, you want to talk about the
part.
performance? Okay, we'll talk about that after.
Talking to people? Do you hear who
Catherine,
you
I
are?
hate you. I hate you. I'm trying to shower. You're barging in. I want privacy. Did someone tell you? Well, you know better. Get up there. I'll deal with it because no one else does.
I was gonna make a joke about how you're always in the bathroom when I'm showering and you stare through the curtain while I shower, Like the shower curtain's like a bodysuit for you while you stare at me.
Yeah.
And this guy's complaining because she's in there with him. Bro, we take shits while the other. You literally came downstairs yesterday. You came home and I started showering, and you came downstairs just to take a big fat shit in the room I was showering. I was like, baby, really? And you're like, yeah, I miss you. And that was it. That you missed me.
I had to tell you something.
Yeah. So, but this guy is crazy.
Guys, you know what she said? She told me, this thing told me.
Jesus.
I'm done with you. I'm so done with you.
Charlie, can you please try to get out of bed?
I don't want to go with
I
that
understand.
crazy guy. I am not ever going with him.
What's that stuff? Yusuf Kassenoff. Interesting. How old was she? That's 31, 40, 54. Damn. Said stuff. Oh, is it like fourth, second more? Okay. So
I hate you.
So first of all, that's horrible that the kids said they don't want to go with that thing. Like, he's a real piece of shit for them to be that afraid.
I just have so many questions about it.
Yeah, go ahead.
And
I'll
one of
answer
them
them all.
being, why does this guy,
Which guy? The husband?
the host of the video,
Gotcha.
say that she's dead?
I think that she died.
How do we know?
Because I believe at the end, like, he showed her Facebook story or something that she's dead.
Oh,
And she has terminal cancer. So I think she died.
maybe.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. We actually, I sent you another video, but it was different than this because the other girl was just being a brat, in my opinion.
Oh,
But
the husband-wife thing you're talking about?
Yeah.
You want to talk about that one too?
Maybe. It's just like interesting that this is getting posted on TikTok.
Okay.
Like all of her videos. Because again, like I'm not this is a hard conversation to have.
Yeah, well,
but
that's
I'm
what we
honestly
try to do
looking
here.
at it like I guess like professionally. Like what
Well,
is
yeah,
the
well,
goal
I
of
wanna
posting the information, you know?
What was that?
What is the goal of posting the information, posting the videos?
Right. Well, I get what you're saying is that because we talked about this, and like when you're in your field, especially, you have to humanize inhuman behavior sometimes, right? From a clinical perspective. So I know that that's kind of the perspective we're approaching this from.
Well, more of like I don't want people to interpret me as being like victim blaming or something.
No. That's what I'm saying to people is that like these are the questions, but these questions that we might ask or the way that we have a frame of thought on this isn't to be like invalidating of her or anything. It's just like what's going on, like what's the behavior that's happening, what is causing this, that, and the other thing. And part of it's like trying to rationalize, well, frankly, irrational behavior. Which I think that is, but like, yeah, let's keep, continue. Sorry, what were you?
So like, I question why like the videos are being posted to TikTok. Like, what is that doing? I question like other like family involvement or whatever, because if you're dying, your children are going to be left to their father.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of times, like maybe. I'm gonna whatever. I think like men have the choice to walk away from their families. I mean, like obviously,
Okay.
but like, I guess just parents in general, you could relinquish your parental rights.
From his perspective, like why doesn't he relinquish them?
And I feel like people don't when they should. So basically what I'm saying is that like this woman's dying, leaving her kids. This guy should be like, fuck them kids. I relinquish my parental rights.
Yeah, I mean,
Even though that's
I guess
a tough decision to
well,
make.
clearly it's not for him. I mean, he doesn't seem to, so as far as what's on TikTok, I think that she probably recorded it to put it up because of what's going on.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, TikTok is not the place. TikTok is not going to intervene and make your children's lives better.
No, it's not. Well, because this gets into a whole conversation about, we talked about it. I got to come up with a better name, but like the whole conversation about like virtue bullying and about how they'll see people that are doing clearly bad things. Like, for instance, I saw some good guy that was like really drunk and he was in like a Chinese food place. It seemed like he was being belligerent and possibly like a bit racist, and it was really bad. But people will take his and that's not good. He shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be an alcoholic. You shouldn't be drunk. You shouldn't be belligerent. People found out where he lived. They found out his previous arrest records, and like they're just berating him on the internet. And it's like, well, that's not helpful. You're just You just feel good about bullying somebody that you feel deserves it. It gives you a sense of self-worth to attack other people, and you don't actually care that they did a bad thing. In fact, a lot of these people want people to do bad things because they want content, and they make all this money from pushing this content. Even though from like a more educated perspective, there needs to be better interventions, which is really just like a prioritization of social work. But if you press them on any social justice topic when it comes to prison reform, they're like, oh yeah, we need to reform that. But then when it comes to a guy that's been in and out of jail because he's an alcoholic, because we have really weak support systems for people who are substance abusers, it doesn't matter anymore because we want to bully the individual. It's an incredible case of cognitive dissonance. For this case, though, I don't think that I see that. To me, it's more of the mother doing social awareness so that CPS might get involved. Like, you remember that stupid parents, that stupid family that, excuse me, saran wrapped their kid and like threw him around a little bit in bed, like that silly little prank they did on their kid. His kids seemed to be upset or whatever. People called CPS on them, which was fucked up.
Oh yeah.
But CPS got called.
Yeah.
And so from her perspective, I can see why she's doing it. I think she's like, this is one of the very few times where I feel like this is an appropriate thing, as long as the outcome is like the court system gets involved. I know that it's a flawed system overall, but it's better than the social court system.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I think. I mean, overall, it's horrible. I can't find any way to rationalize the behavior at all. Like, I'll sometimes see people who are very angry and have disproportionate responses, but I can see why they're angry. And so I can look and go like, okay, I get it, but this is still wrong. The response to being upset is not appropriate, but I get it. This I don't get.
It's just embarrassing.
I guess, yeah.
Honestly,
I think he's abusive.
This man as a person is embarrassing.
Yeah. It's pretty fucking crazy. I don't know if there's like an update. What do you think, though, just on the thought based on the situation, what do you think about the concept of people trying to get him to lose his job? Like, if that is something people are trying to do. Oh, there's an update on the guy. Oh, wait,
he's a lawyer. I know somebody found that.
He's a lawyer?
Yeah.
Damn, there's apparently updates. Wait, I kind of want to see this.
You, Catherine? I hate you. I regret every minute of my life the fact that I met you.
Well, if he's a lawyer, it makes sense now why he's an asshole.
You saw my video of Alan Kassenoff and his abuse towards his wife. Yep. Now that attention has been brought to the story, a lot of details are coming out. So I wanted to take this time to dig deeper into the story and update you on where we're at. Now, Alan and Catherine got married back in 2006. Okay. Catherine alleges the abuse began back in 2016, so badly that it required medical attention.
That's interesting. Is that normal for somebody to become an abusive person, and that's not like a general behavior that they engage in permanently?
It sounds probably around the time that their children were born.
Or maybe Donald Trump. Maybe Donald Trump made him abusive.
Maybe
he became a real MAGA star. I'm sorry. That's very inappropriate. I'm sorry. That's really crazy. Because I thought like you would just always be shit. That's interesting. You must like hate kids.
Well, I was gonna say like he seems to be like a really bad father, and she was 54.
Yeah, well, I think
she has those 3 children look like under 10, like 10 and under, maybe.
Okay.
So that would make me believe that maybe they weren't successful having children for a long time or something, or that they were at least childless for a long time.
Okay. Well, I could see why she couldn't escape the situation, or escape, you know what I mean? Given the fact that like they had kids together, I think that makes it very difficult. But that is actually an interesting concept. That like you think that maybe they didn't want kids, because I know for my mother and my father, you said no, that you don't think that that's the.
I don't think. I mean, I don't know that much, but like I said, what I'm assuming is that they were childless for a long time.
Right, and she was like in her 40s when they had a kid, so it's possible. Like, because I was gonna say, like when my mother and father were married, and my mother had problems having a baby, and so my father was like, I'm just not gonna work on it. I don't care. Even though apparently, clearly, he didn't want kids, and then I was born. I became a seed. The seed was planted, and then that's when he started like, I want to get out of here. So I wonder if it's almost like that. Like maybe she had complications, and then he's like, I don't want kids, and so then all of a sudden it happened. But then 3. I mean, that doesn't make any sense then, because they have like 3 kids. I don't know. Okay.
Violin practice to do with Charlotte.
Okay, fat loser.
Damn.
What'd you call me?
A fat loser.
As a response to her accusations, Alan began accusing Catherine of manipulating their children so they would hate him and make up stories about what he does.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, I might hate you just for the way you're acting. It's kind of a hard sell since he's acting like a fucking animal.
To Catherine.
Hate you, and I'll be filing for divorce as soon as I possibly can. I'm not coming home this weekend. I'm going to be away. I will come back Sunday to get my stuff for next week.
Okay.
Alan also began spying on Catherine, reading all of her text messages and emails between friends, family, and even attorneys. Now, keep in mind, Alan and Catherine are attorneys. They understand the system. Catherine focused more on raising their kids once they were born, but Alan was actively practicing law.
If it's not perfect, I will dump it again. Do you understand?
Yes.
And you do not have 4 hours to do it. You will have 40 minutes. I can clean this up in 10. Do you understand me?
Yes.
That's not how you're supposed to get your kids to clean, right? That seems very abusive. I came from a pretty strict home life too, and that my mom didn't do that stuff to me. One time I threw up and my aunt told me I had to eat it because she was angry, but I didn't eat it. My aunt's a little mean, huh? But thankfully I didn't have to eat it. Probably that was probably kind of a fucked up thing that happened to me. Nah, not a big deal.
Alan took select messages, 11 of them, to a judge and got a temporary custody order. Catherine had no say.
Why would he want his kids? He doesn't even like his kids. It seems like he wants to weaponize the children at this point. Right? That makes sense.
Was not heard during that hearing. That was back in 2019. And then in 2020, Alan got another order against.
It makes even more sense why she's recording though now that we have now we're getting there because
yeah,
like this is one of those like almost the holy grail moments where this woman is like 1,000% in the right because he's like how many people will have an instance in their life and they'll like weaponize it, you know, but she's like it seems like she's like 1,000% in the right here. There's nothing, you know.
Catherine, forcing her to leave their residence immediately.
They won't go with you like this.
Then they're not going to school.
You need to calm down.
Shut up!
You can't talk like this to them.
Shut up!
I can't leave them here with you.
In July of 2020, Alan got another order of protection against Catherine, preventing her from seeing their children completely.
Damn.
Catherine fought that and proved her case, and the protection of order was dropped.
But how would they even get in the first place? Like, what evidence did he have that he would even get the ability to separate another parent, especially the mom, frankly, from being able to see their own kids? Like, that's what I'm curious about.
But now her visitations were supervised, and it was costing Catherine a lot of money.
But like, I mean, I don't mean to be skeptical. I'm just curious, like, how did he, I mean, he's a lawyer, so maybe he has a little bit of but how did he get an order of protection? And then even when it got reduced, it was reduced down to like supervision.
Yeah.
Like what information did he, I'm just curious about it because is it possible we're dealing with two shitty people? Maybe he's just shittier. I'm not saying that's the fact. I'm curious about that.
In 2021, the oldest daughter ran away from Alan twice to go live with Catherine. The courts ordered her back to their father immediately.
Charlie, can you please try to get out of bed?
I don't want to go with that
understand.
crazy guy. I am not ever going with him.
And then as Catherine was getting back on her feet, she rented an apartment.
So somebody in the chat said that apparently she didn't pass to the cancer, but she took her own life. I don't know if that's true, but that's what they had mentioned in the chat.
A mile away from the kids so she could see them more often. Alan got another order of protection against Catherine. Once again, another hearing where she was not allowed to present her case, allegedly. And that order of protection was granted.
That doesn't make sense to me, especially since they're both lawyers and they understand the system. How is how is that happening?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like there's no denying that this guy's like a piece of shit.
And you shouldn't have kids.
I want to know the full story.
I feel like we're missing a lot. It doesn't justify his behavior, but
no.
What's going on with Catherine? Like, I understand that the court system can be flawed at times, but like, how is it that she's constantly losing her kids in the court system? What information does this guy have?
Yeah.
It's interesting.
And Catherine was forced to leave her home once again.
Are these like relevant videos, or is he just like mixing in the old
These are
videos?
the same videos from the last.
Yeah, like are these in like some kind of chronological order? Are they associated with what's going on in the timeline, or is he just putting them in there to kind of
Probably emphasize.
probably? Yeah, I think that's what I think too.
Yeah, they will come. They will come.
I'm leaving.
Take your daughter. Go in there and say you're sorry. Say you're sorry.
No! No!
Say you're sorry.
No!
Stop it!
Just
No, Ellie!
do not talk to Allie like that.
Over the next couple of years, the battle goes back and forth, and there are a lot of details that I am not going through that you can go check up on yourself, but it involves different attorneys, different judges, different therapists, and apparently a lot of corruption. More protection orders were filed, millions of dollars were spent.
Why corruption?
Catherine was fired from her job, and now a terminal cancer diagnosis. It was
This is getting, the performance is really annoying to me because
Yeah.
it breaks up the story. It hurts the story. Like, I understand getting upset, but like it's just it's very
Do you think people respond to that? That's what I wanted to ask you.
obviously we are in the
No, but I mean, does it make people?
yeah,
like,
I think so.
feel?
I think people think that he's being genuine, but it's very clearly like a performative thing. I mean, you could take that, the music, the way he's cutting up the videos, where he's like inserting clips we've already seen in the video, not because they're in some kind of chronological order, but that's the right term, right? Chronological, but because it furthers the video. It makes it more entertaining. That's what he's looking for, entertainment value.
Yeah.
You know, frankly, I don't know. There's more that's going on to this. You know, it's not. The courts will be the ones to decide, because what the fuck are we going to do? Like you said before. But there seems to be something going on here.
her third battle with cancer. This would be the final one.
Yes or
Can you
no?
please put on pants? I find it disgusting when you walk around in your underwear.
Alan, this is my home,
Okay,
and I'm
I'll
getting
post this
changed
on
as
YouTube.
fast as I can.
I'll post it on YouTube.
You'll do what? You're gonna post me on
If
YouTube?
you think this is appropriate for... I'm not your husband. I have no relationship
You're not
to
my
you.
husband?
No, we're getting a
Who are
divorce.
you?
I live in a separate room as you. Every time I go in there to help JoJo change, you start flipping out. I'm changing. So I'd appreciate it if you could put on clothing.
I'm not sure what the problem is. I'm standing here in my pajamas.
No, you're wearing underpants.
I'm not sure what the problem is. You're gonna post me on YouTube?
Maybe.
I'm gonna send this one over.
There were
I don't know, man. I'm starting to get like weird vibes of the whole situation. Sorry. All right.
over 3,000 court filings in this case. And despite all of the accusations, Catherine had proof from doctors that she was mentally stable.
Okay.
She was sane. There was nothing wrong with her.
Alan, I have to go to my doctor now.
Can you get proof of that? Like, I guess you could. Okay.
I'm leaving.
I need to
What,
go
you
to
don't.
the
I don't
doctor.
care. That's what you don't understand. I
You
don't
need to
care.
calm
I'm
down.
leaving. I am leaving. I'm not dealing with these things.
Of 2020, a judge ordered Catherine to never see her children again.
You need to cry? Well,
And that's when
sorry.
Catherine decided
It's just so performative. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to be an asshole.
she was tired of fighting.
Okay, she took her own life.
Before Catherine ended it, she uploaded all the footage to a link, along with court documents, doctor's notes, affidavits, testimonies from friends.
Okay.
And she released that link to everyone.
Well, where is it?
She wanted the world to see Alan's abuse.
Guys, you know what she said? She told me this thing told me. I'm done with you.
Sorry. I'm
So done.
Now, Alan has custody of the kids, but I am told, and this is just what I'm told, I haven't seen any evidence or statements from anybody, but I am told because of my video and other videos, Alan is now under investigation.
Well, that's good. What link is they talking about?
I know there are many sides to a story. The video footage doesn't lie.
God, this guy's so annoying to me.
And that monster has possession of these children. So I'm going to keep talking about it.
I hate you, Catherine.
There's one more. And then I want to talk about the guy that in the video.
Okay.
Say you're sorry.
Can we just take
As
this?
the
I swear to God, the way that I would just push that man, like
The one yelling?
yeah,
Just push him
like
down the
oh,
stairs.
you want to go downstairs? I'll help you down them.
Yeah.
Like shut the fuck up, you stupid bitch. I just can't believe that.
Yeah, no, it's wild. He's just like really acting like a fucking like a goober. I don't get it. Where's this like file though that they're referencing? I mean, did he link it?
Alan Kassenoff story explodes, and media and journalists get involved. More details are coming out as to how corrupt this was. So who all was involved in helping Alan Kassenoff destroy his wife? Well, we'll get to that in just a second. But first, to update maybe some of you who don't know about this story.
Oh my God, it's just gonna
I hate you,
It's
Catherine.
gonna be the same story again.
And his wife, Catherine, had a lengthy divorce and custody battle that cost millions of dollars. And in May of this year, 2023, a judge ruled that Catherine could no longer see her children.
Okay.
Days after that ruling, Catherine decided she was tired of fighting. With a terminal cancer diagnosis and this ruling, Catherine decided this would be the end for her.
Where's that spoiled kid?
She's not going with you.
Open the gun. Shut up, Allie! Get over there, Allie!
No.
It's not any of your business. Get over there.
Allie, let me in. Get out, Charlie. Go, Charlie and JoJo.
What is wrong with you? You're not involved in this.
I don't care. She's my sister.
But who were the people who decided that the man that you see in these clips should have full
I will say, it doesn't seem like his kids are afraid of him. They think he's a loser. You know?
Yeah.
All that yelling. Not to be that guy. It's just like all that yelling, and you just can't even command any authority. You shouldn't have to yell, but you know what I mean?
custody of his children? Judge Louis Lubell ruled that Alan should have full custody of his children, despite never meeting the children himself. He also ruled that Catherine
Well,
should
why would he need to? Wouldn't he look at like professional, like mental health counselors and whatnot? Like that. Here's the thing: there could be corruption involved, but like, so they keep saying corruption and whatnot. I can't even find the file or document. If someone wants to send to me, that'd be great. Maybe I'll look at it on my stream myself.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, to be completely honest,
After we're done with this
is
video,
not-
we're like, yeah, like, at the end of the day, it's up to the system to deal with, and if he's under investigation, that's good. But
No, I was going to say, like, I feel like this is a topic, like, I personally can't have an honest conversation about.
why?
Because of, like, the headache of social media.
I get what you're saying. Well, I feel like we've been having a decently honest conversation.
Decently, yeah.
But like, I wonder what's the evidence of corruption? Him not meeting the kids doesn't matter to me necessarily if he's getting, if they had mental health evaluations or something, But okay.
evicted from her home without notice, despite it being her home. Judge Lubell was good friends with Dr. Mark Abrams, the custody evaluator assigned to this case. They were such good friends that Judge Lubell officiated over Dr. Abrams' wedding.
Well, that doesn't matter.
And Dr. Abrams ruled that the kids didn't need Catherine as their mother.
Okay.
Catherine fought this ruling and won.
Okay.
And had Dr. Abrams removed from the case.
Okay.
Judge Nancy Quinn Koba, who had never met Catherine or even heard her side of the story, also ruled that the children should stay away from their mother. Carol Most, the attorney for the children, also supported the idea that the kids should be taken away from their mother. And according to reports, Carol Most allegedly made a lot of money being the attorney of the children.
Well, don't all lawyers make too much money being attorneys of everybody?
That's what I'm even wondering, like, millions of dollars in these lawsuits?
Yeah, I don't know. But so far, like, there could be corruption, but so far, none of this sounds different. I mean, I know that in a lot of these circles, judges and whatnot, and all these different people are dealing with each other constantly, and they become friends in some capacity. There's like coworkers, and maybe you could argue some kind of implicit bias or something, but I don't know. It's totally possible that there's this like deep-seated level of corruption that's like having her kids removed from her. It's also possible that like something's going on with her as well, for her to lose her kids. What the dad's doing is still disgusting behavior. That doesn't change that. But I don't know. Okay.
Reports are suggesting that she made almost $300,000.
Okay.
And despite many of these officials being court appointed, they're paid for by the litigants.
Okay.
Alan Kassenoff. Dr. Kathleen McKay became the second custody evaluator of the case after Dr. Abrams was removed. According to reports, Dr. McKay never evaluated Catherine with her children.
Okay.
But she did evaluate Alan and the kids together many times. And guess who was paying her also? Dr. McKay also agreed that Catherine should no longer see her children.
Well, that sounds like to me multiple people were removed probably at this girl's request, and then the new people that came in still agreed that she shouldn't be with her kids or something. Okay.
Even denying Catherine the request to see her kids one last time before cancer took over.
Well,
now
she took her own life, so that framing is interesting to me. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. I'm honestly, I'm not invested in this.
It's too complicated for people to be like us to even be weighing in on. I think at this point, we're gonna finish this video.
No, and he keeps on like saying like I don't understand.
He's
Did
leading.
She kill herself? Did the cancer kill her? Her terminal cancer?
Because that
like,
suggests that the cancer took her life when we know that she took her own, which is still a horrible tragedy. But the way that this is framed is intentionally on a side.
Oh, 100%.
And so like.
Oh, Jesus
So I'm so sorry.
Christ.
I ripped that out of your ear. I'm sorry. So even though it still seems like this guy might be in the wrong, we'll never know because it's not going to be unbiased, and I can't find the link to the whole case. And frankly, I think that this is so loaded that hopefully the court system takes care of it.
Thing to note, Catherine Kassenoff has been an activist for victims of family court for many years.
Okay.
She spoke out over and over again on how unfair family court is.
Okay.
Hence, she did not have a lot of friends in this field.
What? Nothing!
Okay.
We're gonna clean this all up today. Perfectly. If it's not perfect, I will dump it again. Do you understand?
Yes.
And you do not have 4 hours to do it. You will have 40 minutes. I can clean this up in 10.
And there are many other players involved in this case. From more attorneys to psychiatrists, a lot of people over the next 4 years. But now you can see how this could happen.
Take your daughter.
I'm not taking her. I'm not taking her. She's spoiled, and I'm not taking her. She will be punished by not going today.
You're her
She's
parent,
punished by, I'm not
and you
taking
need to
her.
take her to school.
No, I'm not.
I cannot do it. I'm
Then
in
she
bed.
won't go.
I'm lying in bed. I can't
Then
do it.
get
I
her
can't
out of
drive.
bed.
You take her to school, please.
Get her out of bed, and I'll take
Stop
her.
talking in that
Get her out of
horrible
bed.
way to her.
Get her out of bed.
No.
She's spoiled.
You
Get out of bed.
I don't want to go with
I
that
understand.
crazy guy. I am not ever going with him.
The people making the decisions, the people who are supposed to do the best for the children, being paid millions of dollars by Alan. Or did Alan have help paying for it? At the time of this filming, yesterday, Alan's law firm posted this update.
Okay.
They essentially say, after a long court proceeding,
It says Alan Kassenoff has been involved in a divorce and custody matter that has been going on for more than 4 years. After lengthy trials and reviewing all the facts, including some videos, none of the 4 judges who presided over the trials or 2 court-appointed neutral forensic evaluators found him to have committed
there was no
wrongdoing or abuse as to his children or the contended
Wrongdoings
domestic violence, and instead awarded him sole legal and physical custody of the 3 children. Nevertheless, the firm will be will be conducing its own investigation or conducting. Oh my God, sorry, their own investigation to determine his status with the firm. In the meantime, he is taking voluntary leave of absence to focus on his family. I just don't know, man. Again, well, I mean, what is possible here is that they're not taking like some of the behavioral, some of the ways that he act like as abuse, even though they think they would be considered that. But like the older generations would say, like, if you didn't clean properly and they dumped it on the floor and said clean up again, like that's not abuse to older. I think I would consider that some form of bad parenting, but that's just considered like hard parenting. You know, the people are like, yeah, he's such a good parent. Oh, it's so cool. But I don't know, man. 4 judges, it's possible there's corruption, but to me it reads as like, you know how people say that like 9/11 was an inside job, and it's like I feel like we would have found out by now. So that would take so many people organizing a situation for that to happen, that like, you know, we know a lot of the government corruption that's going on because they're idiots that like let it be known. We just don't care. Like what, like insurance companies, like, and all this other stuff, and hospitals like taking so much money from people. Like Advil costs like $30 a pill. I just feel like it's possible it's corruption. It's also possible that maybe she's not as good as she's representing herself on. I mean, in the court of law, generally speaking, you advocate for yourself to the fullest degree, and the other person advocates themselves to the fullest degree. So she is, of course, going to release information that's going to make her look as good as possible and show his worst moments. It's possible that this is corruption. It's also possible that she has just as many, if not more, worse moments that he has evidence of, and that like they're possibly using their children to fight each other over. I just don't know. But okay.
Alan is innocent. But
Well,
we'll
that's not what it says, but okay.
investigate just because
I guess
y'all
it
are
kinda
upset.
does. Okay.
The gaslighting in this post really upset me.
Why is it gaslighting? They're saying that they said that like 4 judges and like 2 other people all came to the same conclusion, but we're going to do an internal investigation, which is probably bullshit. It's an internal investigation. But what is that? How is that gaslighting? That doesn't even make sense.
And then it got me wondering, did this law firm help fund Alan's legal fees?
Why? Why would that?
Guys, you know what
prompt
she's-
think that?
What did he say? Sorry, I was reading the chat.
Alan's law firm is what got me wondering, did this law firm help fund Alan's legal fees?
Oh, why would you think that?
Guys, you know what she said?
Why would that make you think? Okay. Cool. And then we're going to play another video we've seen 3 times because really drive home the point.
She told me, this thing told me.
Like,
Listen, you know what? I'm done with you. I'm so done with you.
Alan knew that Catherine could not afford this type of battle. Catherine gave up her career.
I don't know if that's true. My understanding, and I could be wrong, I'm pretty sure that since they're still married, he has to pay her bills. I'm like 50-50 on that. That I think that he has to pay for her too, because it's still their money together. So he's paying both bills.
I don't know how any of it.
I
works.
believe that's how that works.
Career to raise their children. And Alan used the argument that she alienated the children from him. Alan used the family court system to punish his wife.
Maybe.
And those in place designed to help the family, they helped Alan do it.
I need you to fake cry first.
Yeah, they will come. They will come.
I'm leaving.
Take your daughter, go in there and say you're sorry. Say you're sorry.
No!
Say you're sorry.
How many times are we going to see this clip over and over again?
This is one of the things
not-
I'm questioning. Like,
What's that?
if
Well,
he's being so violent and verbally abusive,
Yeah.
and he's obviously not in a place to have a conversation, why are you encouraging him to go to your children?
What do you mean by that?
She just she was just telling him that he needs to go to apologize to their daughter.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like consistently, you need to take your daughter to do this. You need to do this.
No, in this specific
Well, no, I
video,
know in
while
this
he's
instance-
stomping around the house, she's saying you need to go to apologize.
yes,
to her.
and then before
I would be being like, oh, like you need like go in your bedroom. Your father's being a pussy. You know.
I know. What you mean. Well, yeah, and then before there was the moment where she's like, "You need to take this kid to go here" or something like that. I guess, or maybe. I mean, I guess. I don't know. Maybe that's possible.
Talk to
Okay.
Allie like that.
If you haven't seen it yet, you can find the Frank Report online.
Yeah, what is it called?
I used his journalism and articles for the details of this video.
What's the Frank Report?
There's even more details that he is starting to uncover.
Okay. Okay. Well, that was quite a bit. Oh, it's just a recap of what we already watched from the Frank Report. I don't know, man. Listen, when it comes to this situation, I don't know what's going on, and none of us do. What he's doing is disgusting and insane, absolutely. But on the other hand, I don't know. Maybe there could be corruption, but frankly, it's hard to believe that so many judges would rule against her over and over and over again. So it makes me genuinely wonder what evidence she has. Like, what evidence does he have? What's his information? I don't know. Anyway, the guy who pushed the video, very annoying that he would constantly pretend to cry. That kind of shit's very annoying. It's very performative. I think it gets in the way of the video. And to be absolutely honest with you, nobody that's engaging with this will be neutral, because they're all going to be engaging with like their anchor bias. You know, you heard the first thing we saw is horrible, what I would consider abusive videos coming from the father, basically the mother putting them out there, but of the father being a horrible piece of shit. And so now that's the narrative, and it's going to take a lot to push somebody away from that. Mm-hmm. So when I say like, hey, it seems like unlikely that there's corruption, or like I mean there might be, but it's probably, I don't know. He must have some information. Everybody's like, no, this is how it works. This is always how it works. But frankly, I would argue that not for nothing, but this system, custody systems, generally favor the women. So like I find it like a little bit hard to believe that they would take a mother away from their children unless there was something extraordinary going on. You know, I could be wrong, and it doesn't really matter what I say because I don't have. I'm not part of the case. But I hope that justice is served.
I hope the girls are okay.
Yeah, that's what I hope that the girls are okay. So yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
What a burnout. Well, you want to do a lighter segment?
I guess so. I need to adjust. I like the couch is like slipping.
It's slipping?
Yeah.
Maybe it's because you get that wet, that slippy. Not if the man goes to custody. Usually the man will win. I guess. Men don't usually win sole custody. So that's not really true. I know what you're referring to. You're specifically referring to the idea that if a man fights for custody, he will, I think it's like 70% of the time, either get sole or joint custody. But I don't know what percentage of sole custody he would get. So, you know.
What do you mean percentage of sole custody? Sole custody is 100.
Okay, yes. Okay. So, my understanding of the information is that 70% of the time that a man fights for custody, he will get either sole or joint custody, which means both of those figures are compounded together. So I'm wondering what percentage of that is sole custody and what percentage of that is joint custody in some capacity. Because a lot of times dads like will not ask for custody.
Yeah.
I'm just looking into this a little bit.
I also wonder.
What's that?
What state they live in.
Yeah, that's another factor too. Yeah, I feel like diving deep into this is just something I don't want to do. Okay.
All right.
But what's up?
I need you to move the camera because this is how I'm comfortable sitting on here.
Oh yeah.
The screen.
Yeah. Yabba dabba do. How's that?
Maybe a little more to the left. Keep it going. Oh. Oh, the ugly fan is there.
That's my biggest fan. That's my biggest fan. You want it like over here or something? That make you happier?
I don't know. It's all terrible.
Well, listen, it's not going to be perfect.
Well, then move the camera to the right. Put it on like the edge of that monitor.
Like here? I don't understand what you want me to do.
I want to be in the frame.
I'm going to frame you for murder. How about that? You're in the frame very well.
All right, that's good now.
Is it? Pain my ass. Don't worry. When we start making some money, which we just got actually accepted for monetization, we're gonna build like a little studio. We're gonna build a little studio in the basement, right? Right, wife?
Yes.
Right. And then this will look so much better. We're gonna get a nice camera to film us both. I'm thinking of
it won't be blurry.
It won't be as blurry. We're gonna get like a DSLR camera, and we're gonna get a sponsorship by Domino's, getting a handmade pan pizza with chicken and bacon.
Could you do the clicky thing with the camera?
What is it? What do you mean? You want me to
So
try to
it's
reset
not
it?
fuzzy no more?
Yeah. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna wait till we make a little more money on our thing. Oops, that's not what I want to do. We're gonna wait till we start getting a little bit of money in here before I invest so much. But we definitely have to invest in it. You know what I mean? No, I'm saying, dude. Open your Discord. Well, the Discord is for my videos. It's not for us videos. Okay. There are videos in here for sure.
Hello, everybody.
No. We're not doing that on my
Somebody
stream.
said that. No, we're not doing drama on your stream. Michaela Nagurian, the gaslighting TikTok supervillain. You want to react to that?
No.
We have to defend the mighty Michaela, babe.
Yeah, your girl.
Listen, we make so much money weighing in on bullshit drama. It would be insane. Mama Gut just reading these people to filth. You become a fucking queen.
So am I going to get to talk about what the best Adam Sandler movie is?
Yes, you will. Which is Jack and Jill, of course. That segment was rather long.
It was so long.
Okay, guys, listen. This is what we really came on the stream to talk about. This is a guy on TikTok who apparently reviews all the Adam Sandler movies and puts them in a list. This is what's the important stuff that we want to hear. We don't want to be hearing about this guy or that guy or this girl or that them or we got $2.20 from Hiboric, by the way. Thank you so much for our first donation. You're so cute. Thank you so much for our first donation ever. Even though it's in dirty Canadian money, I'm just kidding. I really appreciate it. We did get our super chats and stuff loaded up today. We didn't mention it, but we did. Anyway, let's get this going. But we're not even going to try. We can't get it going. We're lying. Let's do it.
Adam Sandler. I have seen every single Adam Sandler film. So here are all 56 of them, ranked from worst to best.
Okay.
In at dead last, it is his first film and one of the worst comedy films ever
Never seen
made,
it.
Going Overboard.
Have you ever seen that before?
I have not.
I don't even know what that is. That sounds like a good podcast name for us since oversharing is done. Overboard with Rob and Dan. And half of it is you being bored and over it.
Yeah.
Then it's one of the most unfunny and annoying films of all time, Grown Ups 2.
Have you seen that movie?
I don't know if I saw the second one.
I didn't see the first one.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have thought you would.
No, I didn't. Little Nicky is number one, though.
He also had appearances in a lot of horrid Rob Schneider films, starting off with The Animal.
I don't remember The Animal. But I don't know how you could diss Rob Schneider. Now you can, because he's like a crazy conservative. Not a regular conservative. He's a weirdo.
No, but Rob Schneider, like The Animal, me and my brother used to watch this movie repeatedly.
Wow. You guys are crazy.
I don't know why. but
'Cause
we
kids are
thought it
weird.
was wonderful.
Then Deuce Bigelow, European Gigolo.
Gigolo? What? That's a good movie. I love Deuce Bigelow, European Gigolo.
Just beating that is Deuce Bigelow, Male Gigolo.
What? Oh, we got another $5 from Hip Username. Thank you so much for the worst. First, the worst. Second is the best. Third, the turd. I'm second. Why always third is the one with the hairy chest, which I don't really have, right?
You do have a hairy
It's yeah, but it's
chest.
kind of hot. Ah, yeah, you like that? Not a good angle for me. Let's continue.
Barely beating that again is the hot
I
chick.
just
He
okay.
said that Hot Chick was bad.
No, The Hot Chick is one of the best movies ever. But
He
he's
said it was
saying
bad.
Fucking Gigolo.
Gigolo. That sounds like a weird, like a maid, like Alfred. Gigolo. Gigolo. Prepare my
The
things.
Hot Chick is so good. Oh my god, me and my mom were just talking about this because one of my favorite line that I say this all the time is there's a scene where he gets into a bar fight outside while he's Jessica, and so she's fighting another guy, and her line to end him is like she goes, "You think you're so cool because you could pee with your penis."
It is though, because women. First of all, thank you so much to Jesus Christ for the $5.
Thank you, Jesus.
No way the Canadian. I think it's Jesus Krishna. Anyway, no way that the Canadian got the first dono. I'm widoway. So
I'm widowy, so angry white now.
Incredible. Thank you so much, guys. But no, that's the thing. Is like if you ever ask, like, would you want to be a man for a day?
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be a woman for a day. I feel like most men feel this way. There's no benefit to being a stinky girl.
Oh my goodness.
Like who wants to get a period? Imagine being a woman for a day on your fucking period, dude. Crazy.
You wouldn't want to have sex in your vagina.
No, I would never want anybody to fuck me. No.
No?
No, that's gay.
You wouldn't want to feel it.
No, never. I'm not even curious.
Would you want to, if we could, well, first of all, thank you, Soup Bro.
Well, thank you, Super, for the $10. I'm the third. The turd. You're the fourth. You got the gorth.
Oh my!
Thank you so much for the $5
goodness.
from Night Shard. Mama God is better than Papa God. Incredible stuff. Thank you so much. You guys don't have to donate so much. I really do appreciate it. Anyway,
if you and I specifically could switch genitals, would you?
I don't know.
Want to feel
just genitals?
Yeah.
No.
Would you want to feel like
I would potentially
how
I don't know, man.
How our sex feels from your oversharing with Rob and Dan.
Maybe.
Would you want to feel how our sex feels?
If I could
From my perspective.
if I could switch your bodies completely, I might let me fuck myself, but you're me. Maybe. But I don't know, man. That's too much. I feel like guys are not curious about that. I would instantly be a trans man. I would be so depressed I'd get a diagnosis. I couldn't do it. Okay.
I've helped you pee with your penis before.
Yeah, you have helped me. It's pretty cool.
You gotta ask to girls, ask them to hold it.
Hold it. I don't like that.
And then
Well, maybe I should because I pee everywhere.
But also, why is this counted? The Rob Schneider movie is.
I don't know. He's just added them. Let's keep it going though.
He has made a lot of terrible Netflix films, and the worst, in my opinion, is The Ridiculous Six.
I never watched it. Did I watch The Ridiculous Six? I don't think I did.
I don't think I did.
I think it was like a take on Serious the 7 or whatever from Quentin Tarantino.
I don't think Jack and Jill is as bad as it's made out to be.
I agree with that. I thought Jack and Jill was decent, by the way. I kind of liked Jack and Jill.
I hated it when I first watched it.
And it got better, right? Like fine wine.
I don't remember.
It's like fine wine or oat milk. Compared to regular milk, oat milk doesn't get as bad and you leave it out.
But it's pretty terrible. Out of all the characters he's played, the most annoying is easily Zohan.
I didn't like that movie.
I couldn't get through it.
I thought it was shit. That should be number
This
56
is like
or whatever.
this came out like around Borat and also when Mike Myers did
that's it. No,
did
the
he do like the
Guru.
Love Guru?
Yeah,
or
yeah, I couldn't get
something?
through that at all.
It was like like everybody wanted to make a movie with like an accent. You know,
Yeah.
like for comedy.
Borat pulled it up. Somebody said that I needed like a booster of the potty so it's easier to sit and piss. No, first of all, I'm too fat. I have fat balls and fat everything, so I can't sit and piss. But also, I'm so tall when I do pee into the toilet perfectly, it explodes. And my wife sometimes is sitting there and gets it all over her legs. She's like, "What is going on?" And I'm peeing in the toilet, bro. You know, we have a low flow toilet, save money. But then I also got a high flow, and my pickle, it's it's like a turtle, so it's not like drooped down into the bowl like a snake. Thank you so much for the $2. Night Shard, are you a homosexual? Absolutely.
Then is the very forgettable The Week of.
I don't remember. Oh, what? Sorry. Excuse me, I didn't mean to yell. The Week of is incredible. That movie is so funny. Are you kidding me? That I would put The Week of in like my top 5 Adam Sandler movies. The Week of is fucking it's hilarious. It is so funny. It's so funny.
Hold on, before we move through this, do you want to do your top 5?
No, because I don't remember them all.
Through this?
Like I liked Uncut Gems, The Week of, Little Nicky, all incredible movies. Like his old ones were like they were really slapping, but his new ones are risky. Like Jack and Jill is like ridiculous. Like he's just like the video game one was, I didn't like it, but like I respect the risk. By the way, I respect the risk that people take when they make movies too, because part of it is people are too safe and they feel like they can't make different things. So I respect Adam Sandler for that. I don't think that people give people enough credit for making risks in movies. But The Week of is so funny. I remember watching it the first time. I tried to make you watch it with me because it's so funny. And maybe it's because it's like a Long Island humor thing, but I was dying through the movie. It's so funny.
I couldn't get through it. I didn't really like it.
I love you, but it's so funny.
Another film that's very forgettable in Mixed Nuts. I tried voice acting in 8 Crazy Nights and it didn't work.
It was okay.
It was a nice movie.
It existed. It was like okay, you know.
If it's on, like, if it was part of, we're watching holiday movies.
Yeah, it was
like,
a holiday movie.
It fits in.
It was just a Jewish holiday movie. That was all it was. It wasn't that bad.
At all. Sandy Wexler was so boring, and it was made even worse by the stupid voice he put on for the whole film.
Sandy Wexler.
We didn't. That's the one with the shoes. We never finished it.
We did. What is Sandy Wexler?
We literally just started it and never finished it. Do you remember?
Are you sure?
Yeah.
What is it about?
I think in the beginning of it, he like
he falls in love with a black girl.
Yeah, but in the beginning of it, he has like a shoe shop or something.
I don't remember. We watched it, but I don't remember it. So it was probably okay. I think it was okay from what I remember, but I don't remember a lot of it. He falls in love. He doesn't. He like run. I think that he's like he runs like a music producer kind of a thing, and he finds this girl and he falls in love with her, and then he's kind of goofy and he's a silly goose, and that's pretty much the movie. It was okay. It was fine.
I think that covers all of his really horrendous films, his F-tier films. These next few, they're okay. They're D-tier. So the first film in the D-tier bracket is Bulletproof. Next up is a film that is so bad, but I actually kind of like, Little Nicky.
Did you watch this whole rating through yet?
No.
You really haven't?
Little Nicky is D-tier?
Bro, that's wild.
I'm gonna come. What do you mean?
Oh my god, there's
what
so
are you
many.
talking about? Little Nicky is a fucking classic.
If anything,
look, the Twin Towers are still there. That's how good it is.
If anything, I would say Little Nicky is. If there wasn't enough room on A, it's B.
I'm still offended, but I understand. You know what I mean? But I get that. That's a hot take. It is like it's an A. It's not an S tier, but it's an A tier. It's Little Nicky. Maybe it is necessary. A D? What are you, serious? D? Take these nuts in your fucking mouth, bro. What is this guy's culture like? What do you do? Listen, where I come from, we buy a little too much food at Popeyes. We sit on the couch with face cloths, and we watch food. We watch Little Nicky while we consume food. All right, I'm a fucking normal guy. You get home from work. I don't go to a real job anymore. But when I did, you get home from work, working to clean up piss and shit and throw up and all this other crap, period, blood, nasty stuff off of a bus, and then you come home and you see your wife, your girl, and you get a nice old container of Popeyes where you're like, I could eat more than that, and then you buy too much, and then you get sick and you watch Little Nicky. That's my culture. I'm an American. What do you do? I'm going to go get a fine wine from the wine cellar. I'm going to go to a vineyard and I'm going to taste wine. I'm going to go buy a whole bottle. I'm going to bring it home and I'm going to watch Little Nicky. Oh, this isn't very good. Oh my goodness, this is terrible. A D tier, bro.
Get in the flask, Adrian.
This is insane.
His girlfriend in it is the boss from Severance.
Yeah, she could get it.
Really?
She's okay. She was in Little Nicky, so if you're in Little Nicky, you can get it.
Can I wash my winky in your kitchen sinky?
It's so stupid.
Followed by Blended, Coneheads.
Bro, my wife loves Coneheads and the Tank Girl. Those are like the
Coneheads?
two. Conehead, what's up? Coneheads, Tank Girl, and Earth Girls are easy. Those are like my wife's 3 favorite movies in the entire world. And any sexual movie I make and send to her on Snapchat. So when she says with Coneheads, this guy is 17 years old. That's my diagnosis for this guy, for this young man. His name is some Cian Film.
Okay, listen. First things first. Coneheads is not an Adam Sandler film.
I guess he's in it.
I guess so. Which I don't. Oh yes, he gives him his name, Arnold De DiCicco.
Does he?
Yeah, he's like the Italian guy that he meets up. Coneheads is such a fucking.
Coneheads is the
Coneheads.
first movie we watched together, and I remember it was like when like this used to be her mother's house and stuff, and I used to come over here and I used to bang her. I think your mother wasn't here for the weekend or something. She was doing something, and like I came over and we ate food and we watched Coneheads, and you were so happy. You were the most appreciative person in the entire world. It's as if I gifted her a fucking Lamborghini. This woman here, and she was such like, yeah, thank you so much for watching this movie with me. We sat on the couch. It was a beautiful day. She loves Coneheads.
I have a family story that has like the name, like a family related story with the name Constance, but like I've asked him to name our daughter Constance.
Yeah, and I'm
for
constantly
Connie, because
saying
that's
no.
the name of the daughter in Coneheads. Coneheads is such a good fucking movie. That's another one I
We
quote
did
all
fuck
the
to
time.
it too. It's a good fucking movie.
I don't think we did.
didn't. It was a joke. You ruined
Arnold
the joke.
De DiCicco.
That's funny.
I'll pronounce you.
Chuck and Larry was okay. I didn't really care about that one.
What? I hate this kid. I
Put it
hate
in
him.
the
I
D
hate
tier.
him worse than the guy in the last video.
Oh,
what
my
the fuck?
God.
Chuck and Larry is so good. My favorite. I'm gonna give you. This is what we're gonna do. This is gonna be me
On
quoting
Pride
movies.
Month. This guy on Pride
I'm just
Month.
gonna quote movies this whole time. My favorite part of this movie is when Adam Sandler goes into oh no, the other guy, Kevin James?
Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith?
Kevin James.
Kevin James. He goes
It's not
into
Kevin James. It's Kevin Smith.
Is it really?
No, it's Kevin James. You're right.
He goes into his kid's classroom for like career day because he's a firefighter.
Yeah, which
Am I
is
gonna
the
get in
gayest
trouble
profession.
for saying this?
What is? Well, don't say any slurs.
I don't know if it's a slur.
What is it?
Pirate.
Oh, butt pirate's fine. Yeah.
Okay. He goes, "Do you have 2 jobs? Because my dad says you're a butt pirate."
That's ridiculous. That's crazy.
It's so funny. It's such a good movie because they also teach like the kids to like love themselves at the way they are.
Yeah, through a comedic lens. So that has a positive impact. Okay.
Love that movie.
And Larry and Mr. Deeds.
Mr. Deeds, I think, was good. I liked Mr. Deeds.
It's one of like the classics. It was like it came out with those hits like Billy Madison.
Yeah. I would say it's the worst of the classics, but it's still a good movie. It's like a B tier movie.
I honestly don't remember it though.
Hubie Halloween is an okay movie that is ruined by the
Hubie
stupid.
Halloween was
I
pretty
loved
good.
it. Hubie Halloween again is a good. It's just a stupid Halloween movie, and I loved it. I watched it. It was just dumb. Like it does. Adam Sandler, I think, most of the time does what he sets out to do in his movies, which is entertain to the degree that the movie is expected to entertain. Hubie Halloween is not a serious, crazy movie. It's just about a goofy guy who's like in his 40s or 30s who like lives with his mom and like that's it. And he loves Halloween. Like that's it. And that's all. That's what it does.
And it's a Netflix film.
Yeah, it's just a fun little silly Netflix. It's fun. Like I stop being so critical. Stop being so critical, guys. Because this is why people don't make crazy, stupid, silly movies anymore. Because they're like, Cian fucking films on TikTok's gonna rip it apart.
But voice that Sandler puts on for the whole film.
Shut up.
I never liked bedtime stories as much as other people.
I never saw it.
I think it was good from what I recall.
Is it the one oh I was in Click. Okay.
But it's a good time. Men, Women, and Children was boring.
No.
And I could see what he was going for, but I thought Spanglish was boring too.
Never seen
When I
Spanglish.
was 10, I loved Billy
Spanglish
Madison.
is pretty good actually.
Spanglish?
It's a drama.
Is it a drama or is it like a romantic comedy?
No, I think it's more of like it's not as much of a drama, I guess, as it's not as dark as Uncut Gems. But
No?
it's not like a comedy. I don't think.
He's about to say Billy Madison's bad. Listen.
Madison. But as I get older, it gets worse and worse and worse.
Fuck you. Bro. You can't do that. This movie was made like however many years ago. You have to take the historical context into it. Not everything's going to age gracefully. It's a goofy movie about some rich guy who's a stupid idiot and doesn't go to school because he's an asshole. And then his dad's like, "Oh, you have to go and redo every grade of school." And he literally, it's funny. There's one moment where he bonds with one of the kids and he pisses him. He puts water on himself because the kid pisses himself on accident. He's like, "It's cool to pee your pants."
It's not cool unless you pee your pants.
And everybody thought it was cool, so they started pissing their pants.
The best part of that movie is when he calls Steve Buscemi to apologize for him for being an asshole, and Steve Buscemi lays back on his couch, puts on lipstick, and then crosses his name off his hit list.
It's psychotic. Steve Buscemi, by the way, is an incredible actor.
He really
is. I rewatched it, but you saw Boardwalk Empire, and the last season was like a little rough and rushed, but it was he's incredible in it. He has a lot of range. He's great.
Same can be said about Grown Ups. I used to love it. Now it gets worse every time I watch it.
How are you going to put fucking Grown Ups
in D tier
in front of Billy Madison and Chuck and Larry? Also, just like for a second, what do you think is going to be this kid number like in the front for this
I don't know,
kid?
like the fucking one cameo appearance on Barney is going to be his favorite. Like that's going to be his favorite Adam Sandler movie or something.
He had his first collaboration with Jennifer Aniston and Just Go With It. And
yes, you did. I made
that?
you watch this with me because it's one of my favorite movies.
I don't think we watched it.
We definitely did. You probably just didn't pay attention. This movie is wonderful.
Wow.
It is such a good movie.
This kid needs to.
I'm so upset.
Ban this guy.
And it was okay. Before I did this challenge, I didn't even know films like Dirty Work, Top 5, or Shakes the Clown even existed.
Whoa, what are those? Shakes.
But they're all fun.
Got a couple milkshakes on the screen. You see that?
That sounds delicious.
You want a milkshake?
Then another inoffensive film that is just fine. Zookeeper. Not gonna lie, The Waterboy actually has a bit of charm to it, but again, it's ruined by the fucking stupid voice he does. Next,
it's ruined by the character.
I gotta listen. If you want to argue that some of these movies might be a little ableist, that's fine. You want to get a little woke on me? I'm okay with that. Waterboy's a fucking classic. The Big Show's in it. I love it. This movie's incredible. Have you seen The Waterboy?
I saw it when I was little, but like I don't remember it.
I love it's honestly it's one of my top fives easily. It's fucking incredible. It's an incredible movie. We should like do an Adam Sandler movie tier list if I could find it. That's what we need to do.
I'll have to watch them though.
Yeah, that's true.
Next up is Big Daddy, and with that, I think we're going up to his C tier films.
There's too much left of this fucking
He's in
TikTok
C tier
to say this movie right now. There is no
I
way.
liked Big Daddy. It wasn't one of my favorites. It's like an easy B tier minimum.
Uncut Gems is going to be this kid's number one.
Because
he obviously does not like comedy.
Yeah, obviously. That's very good point. And Anakin Skywalker is in the Big Daddy movie because that kid is Anakin Skywalker, I think, if I remember. Oh, no, he's not. It's the kid from Zack and Cody. Right?
Yeah.
There we go. One of those.
What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, shut up.
His okay films, maybe even the above average films. Funny People is nothing special, but it's fun. I don't care what you say. I know a lot of people hate this movie. I actually kind of like it. Yes, The Longest Yard is cheesy.
Oh, wow. I forgot about that movie.
This is one of the movies that I would rate lower. Not like in a bad way. It did what it set out to do, but it's like it's like almost like in a desperate attempt to be like a Denzel Washington movie. You know, Denzel, you know what I mean? Like his movies are incredible. Like We Are the Titans. Remember the Titans? Do you remember? I watched, I think, that whole movie again on TikTok the other day. I was up to like 2 or 4 or 3 in the morning. I think I watched an hour and a half of it through TikToks.
Really?
Yeah. To be honest with you, I think that movies might want to consider re-editing their like 2-hour-long films and condensing them down a little bit to get some of like the bullshit out of it, which might hurt the film in some ways, but in other ways it could enhance it and put it on TikTok to get people to watch it. I don't think that's a bad idea.
I watched a half hour of like a Duggar documentary.
Interesting.
Today.
Wouldn't it be cool if you could like watch a movie on TikTok, but then you could scroll away and then it'll come back like 5 videos later so you can keep watching it. So this way you can like basically do what you're doing on TV already.
No, but now what they're doing is every 3 videos is the same fucking ad.
That's crazy.
I block them though,
yeah.
And then a new one replaces it.
That's what happens.
See, yes, The Longest Yard is predictable, but yes, it is a good time. Hotel Transylvania 2 is my least favorite.
Oh my god, he's 7.
What?
He's 7 years old. That's why. There's no.
I put Hotel. Wait, he should have Hotel Transylvania in like the A and B tier, bro. Oh, I've never seen Hotel Transylvania. We could watch it. It looks like it'd be fun. But he's putting fucking Hotel Transylvania. I didn't even think about this above like Little Nicky and Waterboy. Waterboard me, bro. What the fuck?
The trilogy, but I still like it. I think Murder Mystery and Pixels are pretty bad films.
Pixels was okay. It did what it set out to do. It was worse than like all these other movies. It wasn't that good.
Oh, you know what's
fun.
not on here yet?
What?
That, like, again, compared to the movies, should be under. That's My Boy. Which I thought was a pretty funny movie.
I didn't really see that. I don't really like Andy Samberg.
I'm gonna get like in trouble for saying I like that movie, but that's the thing. Like, that movie was fucking funny.
Yeah.
Now a movie like that would never be able to come out today. Do you remember what the movie is?
No.
That's when he is like the 14-year-old that gets his teacher pregnant.
Oh no!
And then becomes like a sensation for it, and gets like a lot of money.
That's wild. I have to watch that.
But they are so entertaining. Hotel Transylvania 3 was fun. I hate a lot about this film, but it just gets to me.
I didn't watch Click.
Yo, Click.
Is it good?
I have. This might have been one of the movies that I cried the hardest at.
Loser.
Because there's this. Well, it was because my dad died.
Yeah, because Henry Winkler. I know what scene you're talking about.
Do you?
Yeah, I watched a breakdown of the movie and talk about how it was kind of bad because the narrative didn't really make sense.
No, I'm talking about the scene where he's running in the rain with the remote.
Okay.
Bro, that broke my little dead daddy girl's heart.
Oh, damn.
It's so sad. So I haven't been able to really watch it since.
Interesting.
50 First Dates is cute.
50 First Dates is like in a C tier for him. 50 First Dates is I mean, like, listen, I'm not a big romantic comedy guy, but that's one of his best movies. I think that, like, if you looked at this on an objective scale, 50 First Dates is probably in, like, one of his top movies. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't really resonate with me, but it was just, like, it was just a good movie. You know, it was just like, oh, that's a really good movie. It kind of clicked everything for everybody. Like, look, you're fucking angry.
It's just so fucking
Where would you
stupid.
put 50 First Dates?
You said that there's something called an S tier?
Yeah.
Because for me, like, A is number one.
No, S, A, B, C, D.
How many get to go on S?
Whatever.
I think 50 First Dates is the top.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
His most underrated film is The Cobbler. Why does no one talk about this movie?
Probably because you're a fucking hipster.
I also think the Meyerowitz stories, Reign Over Me, and Airheads are pretty underrated too.
Airheads?
Look at Brendan Fraser.
I think I saw Airheads, but this is a long time ago. Look at Steve Buscemi.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
The best Hotel Transylvania film is definitely the first one.
The stupid bitch.
Bro, Hotel Transylvania is better than 50 First Dates. It is one of his fucking masterpieces. Do you see The Hotel? Oh my god.
Biggest guilty pleasure on this list is That's My Boy.
I don't know. I didn't see that when you were talking about it before.
I really like it. Jack Nicholson and Adam Sandler. What more could you want?
Anger Management, that might be like his best movie, I think.
You think so?
I think maybe it resonates. Maybe 50 First Dates resonates with you because you're a girl. Anger Management resonates with me because I have anger problems. I don't know, but I love that movie's incredible. That movie is a really good movie. How the fuck do you put this in a B tier, right above Hotel Transylvania? What comes above what? Like, oh, honestly, I think Anger Management might be one of his. It might be my number one Adam Sandler film is Anger Management. It's really good. Is Jack Nicholson dead?
No.
I have not seen him in a long time.
Kicking off the B tier films is Hustle.
What the fuck is Hustle?
I think he's like a basketball coach or something.
What? This comes above fucking Anger Management? Oh, I'm gonna need a fucking C in Anger Management.
It's above a lot of fucking things.
Oh my god!
The always funny Happy
Gilmore's not bad. It's a good movie. I like Anger Management more.
And I have to say, I loved
this movie. Is good. Wedding Singer's so much fun.
That's a good movie.
This is an A tier movie though. Wedding Singer's A tier.
The Wedding Singer now into A tier, and his only two A tier films are Uncut Gems and the masterpiece that is Punch Drunk Love.
I never saw that, but that's it. Well, so he doesn't do an S tier. Okay.
I told you Uncut Gems was going to be his top.
Yeah.
Wedding Singer is very good.
It is.
That's one of the best.
Overall, I thought his list sucked.
Yeah, what the fuck?
It was pretty bad. It was a pretty bad list. I don't think that it was a bad list. Fuck you. Fuck you, Cian Film. Bitch. That's it. All right. Well, that's fun. That was at least a fun segment. Let me reopen that. That was at least a fun segment.
Yeah.
A little less of a fucking burnout. For a wild placement, though. Actually gonna make me fart my pants. What a tragedy, this guy. This guy's a real tragic piece of shit, huh?
I used to love like every. Okay, was this a thing in places other than Long Island? At Thanksgiving time, would on your radio would they play the Thanksgiving song?
Which one?
I'm
is
asking
that?
the chat.
Which one is that?
Adam Sandler's Thanksgiving song.
He had a Thanksgiving song?
Yeah. Turkey for you and turkey for me.
I think that's his Christmas song.
No, and I feel like he had a Hanukkah song, but Thanksgiving.
Yeah, like it was like hooray for Hanukkah, you know.
Put on your yarmulke. It's time to celebrate Hanukkah. And then he named all the Jewish people.
How many Jewish people are they? Name them all if you like them. What do you want to talk about next?
I don't know.
We got.
Do I need the headphones in?
Eventually. Well, we have 3 topics that wouldn't need the headphones. That's gay men and cheating.
No.
Affirming mental illness.
I don't know what that means.
I constantly keep hearing this idea that like giving people gender dysphoria treatment is just affirming mental illness, and I wanted to kind of correct the statement on that. I wanted to see if you wanted to talk about it as a behavioral specialist, because people will constantly just say like, "Oh, well, what's the difference between somebody getting treated for gender dysphoria and like that versus like telling a bulimic person to keep throwing up? Like it's stupid bullshit." So I was like, "Oh, maybe we could talk about that. If you're not interested, that's fine."
Okay, I hear you.
And then there was one dealing with grief. That was another interesting one. And then there's also this bringing your kid to Down syndrome. Sorry, the kid like glorifying people going to prom with people with Down syndrome.
I think I want to talk about grief.
Yeah, I'm down with that. Can I pee?
I guess so.
I'm gonna piss my pants.
Hey Nora, do you pee your pants? Sometimes. Oh my god, could I tell you?
Me or chat?
Yeah, well, everybody. This really like cringe idea, but I was thinking, oh, look at that hole in your armpit. It's sexy.
Yeah.
So I was thinking to like, cause your TikTok is monetized or whatever, right? Yeah. I was going through my Tumblr and I have like a bunch of old vines, not my vines, just popular vines on my Tumblr. And I was like, holy shit, if I posted these on TikTok, they would probably hit so hard for the nostalgia points.
Yeah.
So we might do that on your TikTok.
I think just we wouldn't put them on my TikTok.
Why not?
Because you're just looking to make money. That doesn't go with my brand. If you want, we could react to them on stream and then put them on our TikTok.
No, I don't want to react. I just want to repost it.
Okay. Cool stuff. I'll be back. You okay?
Why?
I thought I hurt you.
What did you hurt?
I ran over a cord. I ran over a cordless phone.
Put on your yarmulke. It's time to celebrate Hanukkah. Yeah, I think putting the vines on TikTok would be a very good idea. I just won't tell him. I actually have a book called like Milk and Vines, which is like a play of like a poetry book called Milk and Honey. It would be random to post it, but like, do you actually look at like the full page of like the TikTok people? I don't. Rip Vine for real. Vine was so good. There's like Vine compilations on YouTube. Oh, maybe that's what we should do. Some are risky. I want to react. I don't know if we'll get in trouble. I want to react to bad lip reading.
I was trying to do a little striptease. Do I look skinny, guys?
You really do. You really do.
How I look? Do I look skinny?
You do look
I
skinny.
look skinny? Sure, it's not good for my belly. Ooh, wait.
Baby,
What? I'm dancing. You don't want to see my abs, baby?
I think you're hot, but put it away.
Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. Thank you.
Go get my stuff. Just 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I just got confused because I'm watching the stream on my phone so that I could read the chat. Thank you. And then I was just watching it and I was like, oh my god, there's no sound on the stream. But then I realized it's because I just have my volume down. What if your wiener falls out? Wow.
Is it muscular?
Yeah.
Let's do a pose off. Can you stop tripping me? It just be tripping.
Ooh, can I have some of your Gatorade? Wow.
What do you think? Are you serious?
Big. I want a tattoo there on you, I think. I think a thigh tattoo would actually be hot on you. Do men get thigh tattoos?
I think it's a little. It's got. Oh, there we go. It's got a little. Oh, there we go. Not too bad. I got those. Not bad. We getting. Here, check this out too. I'll try. Am I doing it right? Wait.
No.
No.
You guys see the hole in the shirt?
I'm doing it. I did it.
May I have some Gatorade, please?
Woo! These people are making fun of me, calling me chicken leg. They're calling me chicken legs. My legs are bigger than yours. You're a girl. Self-own.
He doesn't have chicken legs.
Look at those. Oh. They said I was just flailing. Okay, so which topic did you want to do? Better tell me right now.
NFL bad lip readings.
I'm gonna fuck it. What? We'll do that next time. You get a video that you want to watch, we'll react to it next time, okay?
We're gonna talk about grief.
Let's do it. Let's talk about the saddest. We have some heavy topics. Why are we talking about such heavy stuff sometimes? Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about burping me. Sorry, guys. All right. So I want to talk about grief a little bit. And the way that we as human beings grieve. That's something that I want to talk about. Today I was just like, oh, we should talk about this because I wanted to have this like kind of deep conversation about grief and the different ways that different cultures grieve. And we're not super educated about a bunch of different cultures, but your mommy's husband is from Nepal. And unfortunately his father is passing or has passed away. Is in the middle of it.
He's sick right now.
Yeah, he's very sick. And what's interesting is apparently, and we're not super educated on the culture, but apparently there's a lot of protocols that you go. Protocol sounds so like weird, but there's a lot of protocols you go through in that culture when somebody passes away. So apparently you grieve for a whole year, which makes sense to me. Because, you know, remember that one time you threw away the rest of, I forget what food it was. You threw the rest of some food away, and I'm still grieving that. No, it's incredible. That was months ago.
You're so dumb. Well, so for my
I wanted those chicken nuggets.
mom's husband, he is sorry, they're Hindu, and his father is a guru, and they're like at the top
kind of like Michael Myers from The Love Guru. Yeah,
they're at the top of their caste system.
Yeah.
So I don't know like if that impacts it, but basically my mom was just like saying, because as we said, like his father is not well right now, so they're kind of just like dropping everything and he is going over to Nepal for the next month.
Yeah,
So,
for a whole month.
we have a lot
Crazy.
of family things coming up, so my mom was kind of just giving us a heads up of like, hey, like, this is what's happening. Like, I don't know what exactly, like, when his father does eventually pass away, like what's going like to happen, like how, like what he's following of the grieving process and the stuff like that.
Yeah, and part of it's like you can't eat certain foods. Like your mom said, like they can't eat. He's not supposed to eat onions or something for a year.
She's not really sure. She said
Yeah.
that like obviously right now like it's a sensitive time, so she's not like badgering him with questions.
Yeah.
But like obviously to support him, she's like, when he comes back, I'm just gonna be like, all right, like what do you need to do and how do we need to respect it?
Yeah, which I respect because we already can't eat beef around him.
Yeah.
But no, I understand it. It's just fine. But then also you're not allowed to do celebrations for a year, maybe like so that might be part of it. Again, we're a little uneducated. But overall, what I found interesting is like the way different cultures grieve. Like for us, obviously we have like a wake. And then, like, that's our general process. Like, you have a wake, which is, I think, very normal in the United States, at least.
Well, I was just going to say it actually differs with where you live at.
Yeah, but that's what I mean though. Like, it differs a little bit. Like, you usually have a wake. It's usually a couple of days, and afterwards you'll bring the I almost said the baby. That would be horrible.
Damn.
I'm sorry. Jesus, I wasn't even thinking of it like that. I'm like, you just bring your baby home, but no, you're not bringing your baby home. That's horrible. Jesus.
Damn, baby.
That's horrible. That's terrible stuff. It's not even funny. It's terrible. Anyway, you bring the funeral casket. You bring your dad or whatever. You bring him and you bury him, right? And all these are just different things. And my question, I guess, is why? Because if you look at these things from an individual cultural or religious perspective, they make a lot of sense. But for me, as much as I love the concept of something, God or something that I want to believe in, and it's going to make you say it again, but it's because I need to believe that we are going to be together after this, right? When we pass, we have to be together regardless. Like it doesn't matter if we go to heaven or if we are going to be reincarnated and we're going to find each other again. Like we used to be dinosaurs together probably, right? That's what I need to believe. So I understand that. But if you look at it not from a specific religious perspective, that gives you like a lot of like, oh, this is what happens, or at least you think does.
Mm-hmm.
And it might be true, but and you look at it from more of like a historical perspective of like, why do we have these rituals? And that's kind of what I want to kind of talk about. Like, why do we have these rituals? Or like in Hispanic, right? And like we watched Coco. I'm hoping that they didn't make all of it up. I'm assuming that it has cultural relevance where like they put pictures on the walls and so that you remember family members forever. It seems like there's some kind of preservation of a person forever. You put them in the ground with a headstone. You put a picture on the wall. Make sure you honor your family. It's all about remembering the individual in that person. And I wonder if that's what it all centralizes around, is just remembering the person who's passed, and maybe this deep fear within us all of being forgotten in some capacity and not knowing how to not get forgotten. Like maybe it does make sense that you maintain yourself in some form as long as people remember who you are, and like it's just that is interesting to me. What do you think about that?
Was there a question in
No,
there?
it was just me phrasing. Well, I guess the question is, why do you think that we have all these different rituals in different, like, based on the religions? Is really what my question is. Like in like Viking religion, when you die, you go to like Valhalla forever and you fight.
I guess it's like to honor.
Do you think that it's more about other people honoring the person, or do you think it's about that person needing to cope with the idea of not existing anymore? Or a mixture between the two?
I mean, the way that you're saying it is sounding very like focused on yourself.
I'm trying to do focuses on both. And then it even gets into the concept of self-chastising and almost OCD rituals, which I feel like some religion has some reaches into, like say 6 Hail Marys, just in the same way that I have to make sure that the doors are locked 6 times every night. It's always 5 plus 1, right? That's like a big one. It's been 8 sometimes and 12 other times. I don't know why those numbers. But like, why these rituals? Like, I know this sounds weird, and this might be just the way my brain operates, because sometimes, like, sometimes I kiss you like 100 times, not on the nose, but I will kiss you until I feel like everything's okay. Because if I don't, it's like a compulsive thing. It's probably like an OCD behavior, right? Like literally one.
100%.
Yeah, it's a non-diagnosed OCD. I'm a fucking neurodivergent minor. But I don't. I'm not a child. I just yearn for the minds. No, but and part of me is like, well, are those rituals potentially rooted in somebody who is very religiously impactful, like creating that ritual? Does that sound weird?
No.
And then it gets into this idea.
Now I'm just sorry. Go ahead.
Then it gets into this idea where sometimes I feel like if I don't do a thing, a bad thing will happen. Like when we went to the park today, I was started to read like the entirety of what the headstone said, because if I didn't read the whole thing, then the person who was in honor of would be forgotten and die. That's sometimes how my brain works. And so I'm wondering, you have to do the funeral and you have to do the wake, or you have to do this ritual or that ritual, because if we don't do this ritual, this person's going to die and they're not going to be together. We have to make sure we do the right thing. We have to almost force ourselves to honor this person, where like part of it is emotional grieving, but part of it is like this ritualistic idea of not wanting to terminate this person's soul for not complying to some kind of a somewhat inconvenient ritual. And that's where my fucking brain goes to. I know that's a lot. That's where my brain goes to.
I love you.
Yeah.
Respectfully. That's like, like when we talk about, like, I don't know if we've ever talked about it on stream, but, we talk about like all these symptoms that are going around and people can identify with them. And they're like, oh, so I have this diagnosis or whatever.
Yeah.
And the thing that I always say is like, everybody has like these symptoms, but when we look at it like an actual diagnosis and treatment, we're looking at like those symptoms and them impacting
and those being
your
like
life.
Significant symptoms, where like some people are like, oh, I have ADHD because sometimes I forget things and can't pay attention. Whereas like that's a significant thing, where just now while you were talking, I focused in such a weird way that I wasn't listening to what you said for like 3 seconds, and then I had to get myself back into it. Like it has a negative impact on me sometimes. I have to do that regularly.
Yeah, so basically my social work hat was kind of just on the whole time you were talking, because it seems like you have definitely like some compulsions.
Oh, do I like what? What do you?
No, but the way that you described, like the question is like what I would ask someone if we were looking at their obsessions or compulsions would be like, well, what would happen if you didn't do that action?
I told you before with the headstone, the guy's gonna.
No, I understand. So I'm saying like that's like you just did that.
This. Like, what are you talking
about?
No.
Oh,
okay. I thought because I was just
answered that question.
Yeah, no. Like, I'll have like if I don't check the doors enough times, I feel like the door will be unlocked and somebody's gonna break in. Or if I kiss you too many times, the way that or if I don't kiss you enough times, something bad will happen to you. And so the way that I rationalize it is like, okay, if I give her 5 more kisses, then she might be just a little bit later to work to avoid like getting hit by a car.
I love you.
Does that make sense? It's
yes.
fucking. It can be a little distressing sometimes. But like, here's my thing. But it makes sense in a religious context, because how many people with obsessive compulsive behaviors need to exist that in the church to make it so that everybody.
You have to say it 6 times.
Say it 6 times. Say Hail Mary. I said it. No, it's 6.
You have to say it 6.
It has to be 6 times, or you're gonna fucking go to hell. All it takes is me like running the church. You know. That's all it took. It's like 1,000 years ago. It's like, hey, we said our Hail Marys and we said our Alpha. I said this. You got to say it again. Why? Say 6 times. Why? 6? Because I'm the fucking bishop. 6 times. You don't even. God told me you have to say it 6 times. Right? That's all it takes. God. I was talking to God. It was a burning bush. God turned it to a fire bush, and he was talking to me. That's what it is. I mean, no, not to be invalidating of religion, but how many people with mental health issues were the leaders of religion? Somebody screaming that they're Jesus Christ, the Son of God. I mean, God forbid. What does it mean? Like, what is that? Was that real? Because nowadays, those are people who are getting choked to death on fucking subways.
This conversation went like a very different direction than what I thought it was going to be.
Sorry, I didn't know where you thought it was gonna go.
Well, so the way that this conversation came up earlier is we were driving and we drove past a cemetery.
Yeah.
And so I thought that we were going to actually talk about the grieving process, and I was ready to talk about like things like clinically.
Talk about it.
And stuff like that.
But one thing before you do, one of the things that really spurred this conversation for me that like put like 4 different pieces together is I saw this documentary on TikTok. It's not of TikTok. You know how these things work. And it was about these termites, and I think they're in Africa, and they have like hundreds of miles, or there's huge underground caverns, and they've been around for like millions of years. Apparently, they've been just so efficient and effective, and they have these queens that live for 15 years, and those queens just lay like 30,000 eggs a day, and then when they are no longer useful, they get eaten by the workers, and it's like. I was like, how horrible. Like, you know, where's the appreciation for fulfilling 15 years of just pumping out babies, right? I got very human emotion, and I was like, well, I'm a human and they're termites, but I'm like, but then it kind of makes sense because they're recycling organic matter, right? And then I'm like applying that to our society, and it's like, well, would it be better if we got rid of graveyards and we just made housing instead? Like, are we being too emotional and not pragmatic enough, and like to the detriment of society, where some of the like our rituals are potentially having a negative impact on us at this point? That's how all those pieces came together to make me go like, wow, grief is an interesting thing because there's no real logical reason to have a graveyard full of a bunch of dead bodies other than for us to honor this idea of ourselves hopefully living forever in some capacity. That's where my brain went.
Yeah, that's interesting because I don't think of any grieving process, or I've never like considered that aspect.
Which aspect?
Of self-preservation, I guess.
Okay.
I've always thought about it just like the loss of that person.
So you thought about it from
missing
the people,
their presence.
the people missing the person, not the person wanting some form of immortality.
Yeah, I've never thought of it that
You don't think
way.
it's both? I think it's both.
I don't. I don't think I've ever interpreted it that way. Not the grieving process.
Yeah.
I think a part of death is thinking about like yourself and what it means for your own life, but like the actual like grieving and things set in place for grieving.
Mm-hmm.
And like when it comes to cemeteries, like I have like 2 personal thoughts on them.
Okay, they're spooky. That's number 1.
Well, the first one I don't want to be buried because I don't want to be fucking buried. I don't want fucking bugs crawling up my asshole and out my eyeball. Like,
what do you want to do with your
want
body?
that.
You want to be cremated?
What?
What do you want then? Cremation?
Yeah.
Interesting. But what if like you are your body getting cremated? You know?
No, when you die, like that's not you.
Okay. Whatever you're gonna do.
That's
That's
your home.
I think whatever you do, your body's your home. Oh, and you leave your home. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I think whatever you do, I'll do. I hope that it works out well.
Well, we have to talk to your mom because
you
have a plot with your mommy.
I think one of the things we said was that like I was gonna be buried next to my mom with your urn in my hand.
Yeah.
But how about I'll die first, and then they'll
want to talk about
they'll cremate me, but then like one of those Salem witch fires, and you just jump onto it and you just burn alive with me.
Oh, if you die first, goodbye.
When she said, I'm gonna pass first.
I said if.
You said when. It's okay.
I don't, baby. I'm going to literally just.
Okay, I'm sorry. I
cannot. I'll cry right now.
Okay, I'm sorry. I love you.
Anyways.
I'm sorry.
Graveyards.
Yes.
First of all, for me personally.
Why did they call them grave feet?
I don't like the idea of grave like. Inches. I mean, like, I'm not a very. I don't know. My relationship with death and grieving has changed since I've gotten married.
So who did you marry?
So like right now, like my dad's in the living room. He's sitting on the shelf.
I swear to God, that guy's fucking with me when you're gone. Sometimes I'm always.
I don't even want to talk about that.
He's been fine, so he can hang out. I guess.
No.
Oh, stop! You think he watches us fuck?
That's disgusting. But that fucking freaks
If
me
you were
out.
my
They
daughter,
know.
I'd watch you fuck. You're hot. I'm
You're
just
so
kidding.
weird.
I'm just fucking kidding.
God. Oh my god.
I'm just kidding. I love you.
But so yeah, my dad's ashes are in the living room.
I'm sorry.
And like I don't feel like a connection to it, more of a guilt that like I'm supposed to carry it around.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't like I used to take a picture with his urn every year on Father's Day and put it on my Snapchat story.
Right, but that's what I'm talking about before. The ritual part of it being to honor that person because you feel like you should be honoring them. Remember I mentioned something like that before? Like that's kind of what I'm speaking to.
Yeah, but do I feel that way because like of my complicated relationship with my father?
I don't know. Or because there's like a societal expectation, maybe.
So like like his ashes are in there, and the thing that I feel like I'd rather have my father's ashes that could move with me rather than say like we move to Florida one day.
When we pass, do you want to have our ashes pushed into like a stone together? That'd be cool. You want to do that?
Yeah.
That'd be a cute idea. Then like our granddaughters can have viewing. Is that a nice idea?
No, I think that we should we get pressed into a stone and then thrown into the ocean.
Oceans are scary, but if that's what you want to do,
because then it's in the bottom of the ocean and it's just there.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe we give it to like our grandkids or something. I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see what we're gonna do there.
So, but anyways, what I don't like about cemeteries is that the person is buried there and they stay there. So like you as the living one are like bound to that place.
Do they stay there though? Like I mean we mentioned this before about staying there, and I think I had offhanded said like, oh, I feel like they just exhume the bodies and get rid of them every year, and you're like, they probably don't do that.
But in my life,
but we just started doing that kind of, you know.
Well, no, I don't know.
Like, I feel like at some point they're going to start digging out bodies and going like, okay, throw that in the river and then put a new body in here.
Maybe,
you know?
But all right, I want to just get this split out. Like, so I don't like that basically they're stationary, and it's like if they're buried there, it's like you don't have them like with you.
Yeah, you got to go hang out with them.
But other people, I've
Xbox.
learned that other people also like the cemetery because that's where they grieve. They don't take that grieving with them.
That's
so
place. Interesting. I know this sounds so stupid, but we were just talking about when we have kids, we're going to have like a homework area. No, I know it sounds so silly, but we're going to have a homework area because you associate doing your homework in the homework area. And if you have a place that you sit, if you do homework where you play video games, for instance, you're going to sit down and go, oh, it's video game time. Because you're in video game area. And so it's like to have a homework area because you sit down, it's like, oh, it's time for me to do this. Like that, that makes perfect sense to me. It's like an intentional disconnection from it so that it doesn't like sit with you and then you go there to grieve and you leave your grief there.
Yeah. So I think I'm at a point in my life now where like I understand that more. I used to like not like that because I thought of it of that you had to go there to feel those feelings, and that I would want to be able to feel those feelings wherever I wanted.
Interesting.
But I like at the same time like I still feel that like that guilt thing. Like it's easier for me to have the guilt that I have to bring my father's urn around with me rather than the feeling of like if we moved to Florida I would feel bad basically like leaving him on Long Island.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. I think about it from that perspective. All right. What else do you got? What was it? Didn't you have two thoughts on that, or did you expect
those were the two thoughts I said to you?
Okay. Very interesting.
Grieving is weird though.
It is certainly weird.
Yeah.
I thought that was a good segment. I like those segments where it gets kind of like interesting and deep, and like that thing you said before about like placing your grief in a place was very like, whoa, that makes a lot of sense to me. That's very interesting. It's so interesting how like these are human behavior is just so interesting, you know? It's so weird. But yeah, like I said, I think that there's a focus on like a person wanting to feel immortalized and then also other people wanting to honor them enough, you know? Cool. I like that. You like that segment?
It wasn't too bad.
I'm like feeling my belly today.
I like how you just totally like
squished it.
shared your OCD.
I gave a little with what? What do you mean?
Your tangent about your compulsion.
Listen, but think about that. Like, imagine Jesus was just schizophrenic. You know, like imagine Daniel Larson is Jesus reincarnated. Like, you don't even know. You know. They know. They know. They know. They know. What do you think about that? All right, so we have. You didn't want to do the conversation about gay men and cheating.
I don't.
Why not?
Because I don't know.
Why? All right, well, let me give people a rundown on it so they don't think that we're like homophobic.
Yeah.
And then we won't talk about it if you don't want to, but maybe this will spur the conversation. So I'm going to write down a start for the conversation. Just in case. So the other day, and we don't have to make this a segment, but the other day you had mentioned, we were talking about like manosphere nonsense, where guys are very sexist to the women. They are second to everything. Women are expected to be glorified chore doers, and there's all this other stuff. And like if they are promiscuous in any capacity that's even similar to another man, they're valueless. And there's like a lot of sexist ideology associated with it, with like the men and the women, the interaction between men and women in these like red pill spheres. And then you brought up a point that I didn't get at first, but then after you re-explained, I was like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. She brought up gay men and cheating. How like again in the red pill area, it's okay for men to cheat most of the time. But women cheating is a sin. Because they have like
this inherent need to like basically conquer as many women as they can.
It's so interesting. It's like, oh, women are so emotional. They play into their basic emotions and feelings. But then men are allowed to cheat, which is playing into a feeling, right? Isn't that interesting? But it's okay for men to cheat. Women like should put up with it as long as the male is high value enough. But you don't see that behavior in gay men. Like gay men cheat, right? Like we all cheat. Not all of us, Jesus Christ, right? But gay men, straight men, gay women, straight women, thems, whatever. But there's no profound or there's no established
rationale.
I was going to say ideology. There's religion. Red pill is a religion at this point. It is psychotic, where it is acceptable for men to disrespect men like that. Like, and the red pill is homophobic, but you don't see collectives of gay men going, it's okay to cheat. This is okay. Disrespect the other person, et cetera, et cetera. And then it gets into a conversation of like, you don't see that in lesbian or like lesbian spheres either. And so it's only when there's a man and a woman where it is not only acceptable, but it's glorified for men to cheat on women, your partner, only when it's a heterosexual relationship. And I think that speaks to some kind of an idea of like a level of sexism, which you sold me on, which is interesting.
See, I thought of it just more of like, it's bullshit. It's just, I mean, we know that the red pill stuff is bullshit.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't make sense because they're describing like male behavior and gay men are males.
Yeah.
And so it just doesn't make sense. Do you know what I'm saying?
No. I know that there's like a really good thought behind that, but I don't know if you're communicating it.
They're saying that it's like
somebody said the manosphere is connected to the Bubble Boy movie. Do you remember that movie with Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yeah.
It does kind of remind me of that, being overprotected by mommy. That's where I think a lot of it comes from. Dad wasn't there, or mommy was like too nice to you or something, and they coddled you, and now you think that like all women need to be like your mother, in like this really toxic way.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I'm trying to find a way to express it because I don't really. They're saying like, oh, it's this inherent quality of men that we have these needs and we need to like conquer all women and blah blah blah, and like if they would, I don't know how to express my thought.
You just talk. Like when you talk, I figure out what you're saying, and then like it makes a lot of sense.
Like if it was an inherent male behavior, it would be felt universally, and like it doesn't make sense.
So what I think you're saying is that if this was like an inherent male behavior to act this way, that gay men would be acting this way and glorifying the action of it.
Yeah, and like have the rationale.
Yeah, right, but it's not. It's like very ideology driven. Like I do think that men do have a different relationship generally with sex. Not completely different, but a little bit different than women. So like men, I would say tend to like physically be more physical in sex, and women tend to need more emotion involved. And that doesn't mean that there aren't, women that are like men in that case, and et cetera, vice versa. So I understand that relationship with it to have a different interpretation from a man versus a woman, like what it means to cheat. But that there's a glorification of this in specifically like the red pill sphere. And I think it's just a desire to just feed into toxic base feelings and emotions of like cheating. Like if you want to be an open relationship, like you do you. I don't, but you do you. But like they don't want to do that. They want to act. It's not even just about like I want to fuck more people. It's about like I'm going to do that without you knowing. I'm gonna as a man, I'm going to give you my word that I'm just going to be with you forever, and then I'm going to go behind your back and I'm going to say that that's okay. It's okay to violate your trust. It's okay to violate that entire thing. So somehow I guess it's you prioritize cheating on your partner over being a man of your word. That's the most wild fucking shit to me. But yeah, no, I interpret it more as like this whole entire ideology like is basically to some extent socially constructed as like a male dominance thing, and then when two men or two women engage, they don't have this like a dominance type of a theory. It's only when it's like a man and a woman, and like it's just feeding into that like weakness of a man to give into those the desires in that way. So yeah, it's a weird thing. But yeah, I don't think that we have too much more to talk about. That was
No, I'm just not expressing my thought well.
I thought that you did express your thought well.
No, I think that like I had more profound things to say, and it's just not rolling.
Well, I think that you're maybe a little self-conscious about expressing it on here because you like I know that you have a raw thought that's probably really good, but you have to just talk until I figure it out, and then like.
No, not this time.
Okay, well maybe we'll talk about it more offline, just as like a thing, Okay. Well, what do you want to do as the next segment, baby?
I don't know. What do you want to do?
You want to kiss on the lips? 10 minutes of Mama and Papa God kissing. What do you think about that? What do you think about 10 minutes of Mama and Papa God kissing on the lips?
Kissing on the butt.
You want to kiss my butthole? You do. Can we talk about this? Can we talk about this?
All right, give me a minute. Let me take a drink.
Okay. I really want to talk about this topic my wife has been cuckolding me on for a while. She's been I know, but you have to put yourself in the serious mood. We have to talk about this. This is it's a demand. We are talking about this. Do you want to save it for the next one? Introduce what?
All right, everybody. We are in prom season. A lot of people have had their proms already, especially those who live in the South. Schools let out earlier. Up north, we end school around the end of June. So with that, a friend of mine who also works in the same field as me posted this on Instagram, and I shared it with my husband.
And I thought it was an interesting conversation to talk about. So I'm going to maximize this so I can read it, and then also you can read it, so we'll be covered a little bit. So this says, to be clear, we will not be celebrating a non-disabled person taking a person with Down syndrome to the prom. And we're going to, let's get through it first before we react to it. Our society loves and shares inspirational that's intense. Smut so freely. It can be difficult to understand why there's anything wrong with celebrating a non-disabled person asking a disabled person to prom. Let's take a closer look. And I want to be clear. We're talking about the celebration of the act, right? As explained by Wikipedia, inspiration porn is the portrayal of people with disabilities or other uncommon life circumstances as being inspirational to able-bodied people or other common reference group on the basis of their life circumstances. There is nothing wrong with a non-disabled person asking a person with Down syndrome, for example, to the prom, because they do have dumpies, right? What do you think about that?
I hate when you say it.
It's funny though. Okay, I'm sorry. The joke is old. Sorry, guys. We even say that's amazing and wonderful, but to celebrate it and highlight it as something out of the ordinary or spectacular is where the problem lies. These stories always position the non-disabled person as the hero, which means the disabled person is some kind of victim in need of rescue. If this concept is new to you, that's okay. Life is about living and learning. I would encourage you to ask yourself, why is a story about the football player asking the girl with Down syndrome to prom more inspirational and worth sharing than the football player asking asking any other girl to any other girl to prom. Our society doesn't feel bad for people with Down syndrome or other disabilities because they don't have a free date for the prom. It feels bad for disabled people because of their disabilities. This kind of thinking is naive and othering and dehumanizing. It makes it easy for non-disabled people to get a warm and fuzzy feel-good feeling for treating disabled people as fully human. May it also be noted that a common reaction to a reaction like mine to the stories of non-disabled people asking disabled people to prom might be something like, really? Lighten up. It's just a sweet story. Yeah. So, I mean, I think that covers it.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think, wife?
We'll put our...
So one, I think that she's the daughter of people of like children that have Down syndrome. Yes.
I don't know.
Or kids with Downs. Okay, well, they're in her family. I saw it on her page.
Oh.
You said she's a friend. What kind of friend are you?
I said my friend posted it.
Oh, your friend posted their story of the. I thought this was your friend.
No, Shayna posted this to her
story. Oh, ew. Boo. I'm just kidding, Shayna. I'm just kidding. You're never going to watch it anyway. Probably our biggest fan. It's because of, we got to, just mostly for things like let's make it like this. Boo.
Reason number one?
One of what?
You were supposed to go reason one, reason two.
Oh, yeah. Reason number one. Boom. Reason number two. Boom. Reason number three.
You look good.
Boom. Oh, that's a bad angle.
Put it away.
All right. Anyway, that's an interesting conversation. I kind of just, I mean, I don't know how much we could talk about this, but I just kind of agree with the celebration of the act.
Mm-hmm.
Like the idea of platforming is like, oh, you dated somebody that like is the perspective from is basically the insinuation is that they're a loser.
Yeah, that like this person, like, oh, you're a regular person and you're going to take out the special ed kid? Like,
yeah,
wow.
Like that is a burden for you.
Yeah, like you gave up having like someone like you
like
their
perspective
with?
Is you gave up a normal date to have a date with that. That's what's being said here.
Yeah.
And it's just unfortunate. You know, but it gets into like a lot of weird questions. Like the first question is that you think it. I'm going to ask like a harsh question.
Yeah.
Out of ignorance. Okay. Yeah, it's a humble brag. Yeah, I took her out. Yeah, right. My question is, I forgot what the question almost.
No, I know what you're gonna ask.
I was going to ask, is there a potential for? I'm going to be blunt. A red flag for somebody who doesn't have like an intellectual or developmental disability trying to date somebody with one that is a higher support need, like somebody that doesn't have Down syndrome.
They're not dating.
Okay.
They're just taking them to the prom as their date. They're not like actually dating.
Well, that's an interesting point. I never thought about that.
You thought that they like were having a relationship?
Well, yeah, kinda. Yeah,
no, we're talking about like, oh, I'm gonna go to the special ed classroom and hold up a sign to the kid with Down syndrome that says, "Will you go to homecoming with me?"
And then I'm gonna film it and I'm gonna put it on TikTok.
Actually dating.
Oh,
where like there is like actual like relationship, like friendly, like genuine relationships built between those things.
Right, like not everybody that goes to prom is like a potential date.
There's a program I know like at my college and I think in like some high schools and stuff called Best Buddies.
Okay.
Where like a neurotypical student gets partnered with somebody with some type of intellectual or developmental disability.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
I think it's wonderful.
I think it's a good idea because it teaches people empathy and like humanizes people with disabilities, which is something that even into like my late 20s I didn't have until we started dating.
Yeah,
like I didn't have like enough empathy for people in the IDD community, and then we started dating, and then we went to that like that party, which they need to do more of those. And I was like, wow, like what a fool I've been. Sometimes it can be very difficult to verbally communicate why people within the IDD community are people. And I know that sounds horrible to say, but I don't think that I don't think my old perspective was unique. I think most people know that it's bad to be like, oh, people within like in that community are less than, but they still feel that way. Because like I'm told that they're not as bad, so they just kind of keep it quiet and they're like, yeah, well, I don't really care about them. But once I met like these individuals, like holy fuck, like what an idiot I was. There was no explanation needed. It was just like, oh, they exist, and I'm talking to them, and they're people, and like what is wrong with me?
Yeah.
And I think that that's the best way to interact with that is like, hey, like go hang out with somebody with Down syndrome for a day.
Yeah,
Go
like
go to WWE match with them.
I don't know how like your school was, but like in my high school,
I don't either. I didn't
they
really go.
they did, or even like in my middle school as well. Like they did in I don't know what they call it anymore. Like to me, it was called special ed.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called now. I'm probably like going to hell for saying that.
Yeah, people are gonna be like, "Oh my god, you called it special education." Like,
But they like, I think that they did pretty well, like integrating those students with the majority of the school, because sometimes we had like joint gym classes.
Okay. That's a good idea.
Yeah, or they did like there was this kid, he did not use words to communicate, but everybody was very friendly with him, and the way that he got to like interact with everybody is that he went around the whole school and cleaned all the doorknobs on the classrooms.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that was something that he did during the school day.
Who did that?
His name was Maddie.
Wait, did he have the disability?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said for some reason. For a second, I thought you said that somebody else was cleaning the doorknobs because he was touching them.
No,
I was
no,
like, that's
no.
horrible. That's terrible.
It was like his task. He run around the whole middle school and clean the doorknobs. And when he did that, like everybody said hi to him.
That's cool.
There was a couple of the kids did like the musicals with me in high school.
Okay.
I think that there was like a lot of integration in my school, or they were like in our lunch periods or whatever. And it's actually funny. I saw a TikTok yesterday that said there's a special relationship between the Hot Cheetos girls and the autistic kid in school.
What does that mean?
And I was like, they're totally fucking
What is the relationship? I've never heard that
I
before.
don't know, but there was a lot of kids that like hung out with like this specific group of people.
Like a lot of
where
people.
it was like
okay.
They were fucking bullies, like nasty fucking people. Like I didn't talk to them, but they were like genuinely like best friends with the kids with autism.
Interesting. That's cool. I guess. Okay. That's cool.
So like
That's
things like that, like I think that those are genuine friendships. And yeah, so when there is like a special event coming up, like a prom or a homecoming or stuff like that, like it's fine to go with your friends. And it's also fine as the neurotypical kid to recognize like, hey, like this, like my friend or this person like in my school like has an intellectual developmental disability, whatever it may be, and you know it would be nice for me to include them. Like it's those thoughts are okay and it's realistic,
because I think that this isn't exclusive to somebody with a disability, like being othered. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
like to be like, oh, my friend fundamentally, for whatever reason, is like they struggle to make connections, they struggle to have friends. Let me take them to the prom. That's very normal.
Yeah,
that
and like
reason,
it's okay to have that recognition of like, you know, like I am doing something nice. I can be doing something else, but I am going to make the choice to do this.
Yeah,
that's okay and that's realistic, right? But what's dumb is when it becomes like a celebration.
Yeah,
It's the same thing as you videotaping yourself giving $1 to a homeless person.
Yeah. Absolutely. Why not give him $2? You stinky idiot. No, but I tend to agree with that. It's like, well, that's what a lot of the work. Like, social media is really cool because you can go on it all the time, and you know you can lay in bed and jerk off and all that. And that's nice. But, well, not social media. I don't use social media. You get my point though. The internet. I'm not sitting there on Facebook like, oh my god, mom, nice dress. Okay. Anyway, but this is one of the negative things is that like we are at a point now where people filter everything through social media, likes and views, and things are so ingenuine now. It's so difficult to figure out who is and is not genuine. And that's when we talk about like virtue bullies, where it's like people will criticize bad behavior, of course, but then they'll go and try to destroy their lives by doxing them. It's like, is that the proportionate response, or are we hurting society by doing this? Cancel culture is truly like a bad thing because it doesn't engage in like a behavioral perspective. And then these people make money, and it's like, okay, well, what do you really care, or are you just looking to do something that's perceived as good with really poor intentions in a disproportionate way? It's the same thing here. It is not a bad thing to invite anybody that is has trouble socially interacting, or maybe struggles to make friends, to prom. Hey, you want to come to prom with me? Like, let's go as friends. But to videotape it and put it on the internet, to be like, now what are you doing this because you care about this person, or are you doing this because it'll make you look good for 15 minutes, you know?
And I almost feel though too is that like, even, and maybe I'm going back on what I said before, maybe the posting of it isn't a bad thing. Because everybody, like, if you do a big, like, prom invite or whatever,
Yeah,
you take prom pictures, that's normal. But there's a difference between the, like, oh, like,
It's
that's
intentionality.
nice. Like, the response. The difference between, like, oh, that's nice, or, like, wow.
well, that's
such a wonderful thing.
well, that's the thing too, is that you're right. Because I was thinking about too, it's like, well, it's a little bit normal maybe to put your, like, oh, put a sign up and ask your crush or your friend out. But then the response, and then because the response is, there's a higher chance you're going to get positive attention on the internet for asking somebody Down syndrome out or whatever. Then it's like, what was the intention of asking that person out now? Did you have good intentions or not?
It's even, like, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
When I get, like, I guess compliments or praise for my job, I appreciate praise that's like, oh, like, I know somebody who works in that field. I know it could be really difficult.
Very, yeah.
Like, thank you for what you do. I appreciate that, but I hate when people are like, oh my God, like, that's where you work. Like I could never, I don't know how you
Like, what
do
a
it.
burden. The way that I appreciate your job is, I think it's a really incredible, beautiful thing to have a support structure in society that like helps people that deal with something that they'd have no control over. Like, if that was me, I would of course want somebody to help me. I think of it like that. Like, that's an incredible thing, because like people in like the group homes, the only difference between them and me is luck. You know?
Yeah.
And you know what? Maybe they're luckier than me. I don't know how the way that they interpret it, because you talk a lot about how people with Down syndrome, sometimes they have very positive views of the world, and so maybe it's even lucky. I don't know, but you get my point. Like, we were just born differently, and that just gave us different life circumstances and like a different way to perceive life and a different experience with different things, and some things are easier and some things are harder, and that's just what it is. And if I was having a struggle in some capacity, I would like if we had human beings to help each other. It's a nice thing, and I know that people say it's a cringe, but it all centralizes around like a concept of love, which is a little cringe, I understand, but I think that it's a beautiful thing, and it can be very building, and we need more of that. And that's a really nice thing. And empathy, I think, is like a stepping stone to love in some capacity.
Something that I think is unique to my field, and maybe this is just a me personally thing. I won't work with certain populations.
I won't let you work with someone.
No, but I won't work with certain populations, and for me, I would say that like 99% of it is because of the systems that impact those populations. So,
Okay,
for
like what?
example, this is the easiest to explain. I do not want to work with children. I will not work with children. I do not want to work in a school. The reason why I don't want to work with children is because I believe children deserve privacy. I feel that children deserve not to be punished for negative behaviors they're exhibiting. When I say that, I mean, for example, self-harm. Children get in trouble for that. They get things taken away from them. They get experiences taken away.
Yeah.
If a child is confiding in you and telling them that they're harming themselves, they deserve to be accepted. They deserve to be able to explore why they're doing that with a trusted person, instead of, again, having things taken away from them.
Well, but then if you do that, don't you have to report everything to the parent? And then
You do.
And then the parent.
And the other thing on top of that is why I don't want to work with children or in a school system, is because you're treating that child when the problem is the parents and the home.
Yeah.
So you're putting all this treatment into the child, and even if they're wonderful, and again, I worked in a residential school system. You could, and the goal of the residential school system is to treat them to the point where they're able to return home and be successful.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where we talked about addiction a long time. I know this is like weird, where we talk about like alcoholics, maybe they go to jail or they go into what is it called, the rehab facility, and they may do really well there, especially if and unfortunately a lot of our rehab facilities are centralized around religion. But then you go back home and it doesn't take all those boundaries with you, and then you just relapse. And it's the same thing for the kids, basically, because you didn't fix the conditions that were causing the problems, and the condition in this case a lot of times is the parent. Absolutely. I would say, though, not to push too hard, but don't you think that if you did work with kids, you could potentially have a positive impact in that space if you have a conversation with the parents? Like, do you think that you could enact positive change? You don't even have to answer the question, but do you think that maybe you could enact positive change by focusing on like, hey, listen, like, you as parents are also a problem, but in a more constructive way, obviously.
I like yes, but at least specifically to school, no.
Okay.
Because you're not your client system is the child.
Gotcha. Yeah. And so, like, you're not even talking to the kids. You're not even talking to the parents, talking to the kids.
No, yeah.
Because I feel like, because I grew up and, like, I came from, like, a single mom. I had ADHD. I had behavioral issues because my father wasn't there. And we went to therapy. And, like, this was very normal for the time. This isn't me saying my mom's bad at all, because she's an incredible mother. She would hit me sometimes, right? And that was more acceptable back then. We went to a therapist one day, and it just stopped. And because the therapist was like, this is not helping. This isn't a productive thing. And like, things shifted. And like, I would like to say that I think I'm decently successful, not because of myself, but because, like, my mom was an intelligent, introspective woman who was just struggling. And that was what you were taught to do. Your kid's acting up, just fucking beat him. Hit your kid, and then the therapist like, this is not helping your son, you have to stop. And it wasn't even like a thing anymore. Like, I was kind of just like, it stopped the behavior. And like, I think that was a very productive way. But also, I wasn't in the behavioral system, like in schools, like for troubled teens. My mother took me to a therapist for a very long time. And this particular therapist would talk to her and me sometimes separately. So maybe a half hour talking to her, and maybe a half hour talking to me, and boom, like, that's like a therapy. And like, I mean, I think I'm better now. It's a hard process. Obviously, it's not going to change instantly. But who's to say that didn't? And like, that could be you. But then what you're saying again is, in the school system, you're only dealing with the kid. You don't have the parents, right?
Yeah, I think children are just very complicated. Another thing with children is I think of the relationships I had, or the way I thought of like adults in my life, like in school or whoever I interacted with, and how highly I thought of them. And for me personally, that's just, I feel like I would be that person for a kid, and that's just too much pressure.
So you're saying that if you became like a guidance counselor or something in that capacity, that that kid looking up to you might be like a lot to put on you?
Yeah, I don't want to be. I'm at this point in my life where I don't want to be, because that's what I wanted. That's how I made my way to where I am.
I understand what you're saying.
I wanted
like,
to go to school to be a teacher, so that I could
be an inspiration to kids,
be like a positive person to the kids in school.
I understand what you're saying. That could be a lot of. Sorry, I don't mean to yawn.
No, you're fine.
That could be a lot of pressure to put on you, especially if it happens continuously.
Yeah.
For me, we had a horrible guidance counselor. Our guidance counselor was fucking horrible.
Well, guidance counselor or social worker? Because I had a horrible guidance counselor. They're different.
It might have been the school social worker. Here's what I remember. I remember going to the lunchroom. I'm not proud of this. And like, these kids had sat at our table. Like, who cares? Like, they just got there and like, they didn't know. And like, I walked up to the table and I like threatened them. And I wasn't serious, but I was like, oh, you better not be here. I'll fucking, such and such. And like, I think the next day the guidance counselor or it might have been like this. I think it was a social worker. He called me and he's like, you didn't mean it, right? I was like, no, I didn't. He's like, okay. And that was it. But no, that's not acceptable. First of all, what if I was lying? What if I did mean it?
Yeah.
I didn't, but what if I did? You don't know. This is me in here. And then you only know me through what I fucking come out of my mouth and my ass too. I fart a lot. You only know me from what I express. You don't know me. You don't fucking know. I could have been a goddamn psychopath. Like, you know what I mean? Like, back then there was a kid who threatened to shoot the school up, and they just like suspended him for a day. And then it's like, I don't fucking dog shit, right? So I should have been in like suspension for a week, And I should have like there should have been constant conversations about empathy and like, well, you know what you said like threatened, like somebody else will feel like terrible about that, like that is devastating to them. Like I didn't know that. I'm a little dumb asshole. So plenty of shit mental health people.
So my point in telling this is, again, a lot of like my thought of other not working with other populations is based on the systems that they function in. Where when it comes to my population, people just literally don't want to work with the people.
Yeah, we talk about that sometimes.
People don't want anything to do. And it's because like you haven't experienced them.
What do you mean? The people that work in the field? Are you talking about how
people who are like, oh, I can't work with them? Like,
oh, you're not talking about people that are in the field, like ineffective direct support professionals or any people like that. You're just talking about how people could never imagine working with them because because what they're really saying is that they find them disgusting.
I don't think even like disgusting is a very strong word. I just
I don't
like
feel that
people
way.
are
I mean,
like
some
I
people
can't even comprehend like what it would be like to interact with them.
Yeah, because I feel like the part of that's a level of like almost disgust associated with it.
I guess so.
Poorly so, but maybe I'm being too harsh.
And maybe it's just because this is really like my calling. I feel like it is.
You do it very, you are.
I'm wonderful at my job.
You really are. Yeah.
I'm thankful that I connect with the people I support, even people that I don't work with closely. Like, if I need to, I can work with them and I'm effective. Or if I'm not effective, because it happens with everyone, even the people who I know best. Sometimes when I try to help them, I trigger the fuck out of them. But that's just what happens. But like, I know how to navigate it. I know how to ask for assistance. Like, really, this is the population I think I was meant to work in.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's always going to be as a behavior specialist. I don't know where it will take me, but
we're going to need that for our kids. They're going to be tough to raise.
They're going to be behavioral.
They're going to be behavioral,
but you know, back to our original thing, like talking about like doing things for your friends. I've been in my job for 5 years, and you know, we always preach boundaries.
5 years as a behavioral specialist, right?
No, I was just in the field.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I started my job as a BIS in September 16th of 2019.
Wow. Incredible stuff.
Yeah. So, I was gonna say we always preach boundaries, but everybody knows.
Are you getting signed off on hours for your license?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know how that worked. Oh, okay. Sorry. Didn't mean to cut you off.
Everybody always preaches boundaries, but we all know that we kind of like, we don't do anything abusive or bad, but you know, our boundaries drop sometimes. My one house that I work at, that I've been at since that's where I started as a DSP, those people are my friggin' family. Like, I genuinely love them.
Well, it's impossible for that to not happen. You know?
Yeah, and like I care about them so much, and like I really, when the day comes that I'm not there, like as an employee anymore, like I really do see myself staying connected to that house.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's 6 of them, and there's one person who is very, very close to me. She's very, very special to me. And the rest of them, I think of...
They're not. They're stupid to you. I'm just
No, I was going to say, I don't, like... I think of all of them like aunts and uncles, because they're older than me.
Yeah.
You know? And so you do, like, build those... I'm just saying this because to prove the point that, like, you really do build genuine relationships that are not because of like, oh, like I'm being nice to the person with an intellectual disability.
No, you genuinely like, you care for them in some capacity.
Yeah, like,
you know?
they're people and you build relationships.
Yes. Well, it's, honestly, you can relate that to coworkers of like a job, like another job, where like you get to know your coworkers, you either like them or you don't. But and then some of them become very close friends. You can even consider some of them family. So yeah, it's the same thing as that. You know, the relationship is a little bit different, but it's a very similar thing to that, for sure.
Yeah.
Which gets into like an whole like conversation about like, you know, some of the struggles of being in a group home as somebody, because they see you as family in some capacity as well. It's unavoidable. And then like if you when you inevitably leave, excuse me, that's considered like a loss to them. You know, like what a complicated, unfortunate scenario to be in. You know, imagine your family just kind of cycling in and out of your life. It's got to be very chaotic for you. So yeah, I think we've satisfied. I think we satisfied this this topic. Unless you had more you wanted to say.
I just want to say one last thing.
That
So
you
you
love
have
me.
I do love you, and if you have the opportunity to get to know somebody with an intellectual or developmental disability, to do it. There's a lot of volunteer opportunities for you out there, or even, you know, there's probably someone that works at your local grocery store.
I mean, like work for the grocery store and make friends.
Yeah, like say hello. Acknowledge them. If they're bagging your groceries, say thank you.
Say, call him boss. Well, the one guy in your house likes it when I call him boss.
Of course. He's constantly asking about you. Oh, maybe you and your husband.
See, he likes it when I call him boss.
Maybe we could go to WrestleMania. What
I'd
kind
think
of
about
music
it.
does your husband listen to? Maybe me and my fiance and you and your husband could go on a double date.
I would be down.
I would be down.
Is that
too.
okay? Well, I would prefer like let's go to like fucking like Applebee's or something. Like that would be that's like a nice first time doing it. Are we allowed to do that, or is that considered weird?
We can't do that right now.
Okay.
But if I'm not employed there,
Then
we're
can do that.
100% doing
Yeah, I'm
it.
down for that. Just like go out. Yeah, because it's considered like a conflict of interest in some capacity, right?
Well, it would be a boundary thing, right? So that's why, like, a couple months ago, I stayed late to be able to take him on his date night so that we can hang out. But like to like have you come,
but
would
you're
be that
facilitating that,
boundary
and if I
thing.
went there, yeah, that would be a break of
Yeah.
a boundary because like you need to maintain a professional relationship. That makes sense. But okay, that makes sense. Yeah, of course Applebee's, but they mean they'd have to come out after 10 for half apps. That's the only condition that I'm gonna adhere to. But yeah, I'd be down for that. It's pretty cool. Be fun. But yeah, I think it's I think that's one of the things. And sorry, I know we're meant to end this off, but I think that's the biggest issue when it comes to advocacy for people in the IDD community. When it comes to, I know that I say this being a dead horse sometimes, but I think it's very important. When I talk about like the normalized usage of like the R slur, I think that the biggest reason why people don't see it as a big deal is because they're simply staying away from people that have intellectual or developmental disabilities. And there's nothing better to explain that people in the IDD community are people than to go and make friends with them. It's the same reason why, like, obviously people be like, I have black friends, I can't be racist. That's stupid. You can still be. But I think that that's the reason why people who tend to grow up around more black people tend to be less racist. Same thing with like Hispanic people or gay people. They're less homophobic because they're around people and like, oh, that's a person. Like that was my brother or my sister or my cousin or my uncle forever. And like, they're a really good person. And I know that like society maybe in some areas says that that's wrong, but like it's not, right? That's the best way to break over stereotypes, is just to get to know somebody. But so many people are so isolated from people in the IDD community. And I think that's why it's so difficult to communicate like, hey, this is like a bad thing. But most of the comments when I do the advocation are like, oh, I have this, or my brother has this, or I worked with people that had this. And it's like, they're like, I get it. So it'd be a really good thing to do.
I also want to add one more thing too.
Do it.
All right,
Do it now.
This is like a serious lesson that I'm giving everybody who is watching this video.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard this tons of times with my own company, reading articles for other towns in Long Island. I'm sure it happens in other places. I mean, rewind for a second. If group homes aren't a thing where you live, I would advocate for them, but I won't get into all of that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to it. If where you live, you hear that there's going to be a group home, having a group home in your neighborhood is not a bad thing.
Interesting.
First
I know
of
what you mean.
all,
Okay.
it integrates those people into your community, which is the point of the disabilities rights movement.
Yeah.
And what we're talking about right now. That's how you're going to interact with people, is when they're in your community.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you have to be best friends, but you're going to literally, even just seeing them.
Yeah, but when you're
opens up your
walking the
mind.
dog and they're and you're just, hey, what's up? That's all you. That's all it takes. You know?
But a lot of people interpret having a group home like on their block or like in their immediate surroundings to be a very negative thing. It's not a very negative thing because, first of all,
because you get plowed out first, right?
We already know that you're not going to like us. So we're going to, and not you personally, but a lot of people don't want the group home there.
Right,
we already know that people are going to be against it. So we are going to do what we can to have like, to be like friendly to the neighborhood.
Sure.
We're going to try to make as little trouble as possible.
Absolutely. I get what you're saying.
Second of all, the house is going to be extremely well kept. The property is going to be extremely well kept.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not like it's going to be, you're going to drive by it and not even know that it's a group home unless you work at a group home and know like what a group home looks like.
Yeah,
you know? You can tell because there's like a big van and a bunch of cars in front of it. But there's so many positives, you know, maybe like he just said, in some cases, maybe your street will get plowed from the snow, like as a priority.
True.
But yeah, if you hear that they want to build a group home in your neighborhood, be in favor of it.
Yeah, or at least don't be against it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But some people are so nasty about it. I understand that.
I have one.
I had like a group home, but like not for people in like your community. There, it was like a halfway house. I mean, like it was at the end of my block, and they didn't bother me. I don't give a fuck. You
know. At one of the houses I work at, that house has been there for a very, very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And the neighbor across the street is this horrible, horrible man.
I know
terrible.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Before the people I support lived there, another group of people lived there, and they were a little bit more behavioral. Okay. And one person unfortunately jumped out of their window and landed on the driveway.
That's terrible.
And the neighbor came over and banged on the door and told the staff, "Your animal's on the driveway."
That's terrible. What a scum fucking piece of shit.
The same man, if we park our cars on his side of the road, like his house is directly across. So if we park our cars on his side of the road, he comes over and he bangs on the door that we need to move our cars. I have somebody who their dayhab comes and picks them up in their van. And when they pulled up, they would beep the horn. And he came over and not only got into staff's face and yelled at them, but yelled at the person I support.
That's disgusting.
And it was, look at me.
Look, I can see you.
Well, I'm going to mouth you.
What? No, hold on. What? Terrible. Terrible.
I told him the person he yelled at.
Yeah.
And like this person...
Bro,
I can't imagine anybody yelling at them.
So what's the legal ramifications of roundhouse kicking him in the face?
Well,
don't do that.
No, like our, you know, the Italian guy.
I know a lot of them.
One of my bosses.
Oh yeah. He's a nice guy.
He came over and he talked to him and stuff.
Listen,
like sternly. But you have to keep the peace because that's their home.
Well, let me just tell you something. Let me just tell you something about weak men. They love to yell all the time. So that weak man that came over and knocked on the door, if he gets it doesn't have to, if you give him a stern to aggressive visit, he'll stop the behavior. That's the cognitive behavioral therapy of weak men who can't like fucking get their shit together. You just gotta give them a little shit.
I know this guy is a like the blue flag.
Oh well, okay. Yeah, right.
And all that.
I get it. He celebrates Pride Month. I understand.
Yeah.
He's fucking.
But
okay. You give him a little bit of a talking to. He'll cry. He'll fucking cry like a little baby.
But yeah, so people are like really shitty and mean. So
yeah,
be a genuine friend. Don't act like a hero.
Yeah, just act like a person.
But act like a person.
Yeah, be a cool guy. So. Yeah, that was a nice segment, my love. That was a nice segment, my love.
I have another story, but it won't be part of the video.
Like, do you want to actually say it on the stream though?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's short. So I have him as the background on my phone and stuff. And like I said, like I hang out with the people I support. So like we talk about what we're doing and stuff. And I forget what night it was, but when we were dating, it was like a night that I always like had him over afterwards.
Yeah.
So the one girl I work with, we were talking about what our plans were for that night. And she was like, I know what you're doing. And I was like, what? And she went like this, like a humping motion. And she was like, hot guys.
Yep.
And she was talking about him.
It's true.
Hot guys.
Wait, you want to know what's interesting?
What's that?
So let me see your phone real quick. Can I show people your phone? So this is this is the picture that my wife uses. She has this picture of us when we went to Disney, and like it's a nice picture of the two of us hanging out, right? And for the longest time while we were together, I just never had a picture of her as my thumb wall. What is it called? The wall screen wallpaper. So the other day, my wife sent me this really, really cute picture. I loved it a lot, and after finally made it my
after 4 years.
I made it my screensaver. Like, this is such a cute picture. This is the picture my wife sent me. She sent me.
Yeah, but move it up a little bit.
What the hell's happening? This is the picture she sent me.
I'm giving him the finger because I was so fucking angry at him. I was angry at him, but I had to keep our snap streak. So I just sent him a picture.
Bro, Snapchat streaks save lives, though. Think about that. Like, you have to stop fighting if you don't want to lose your snap streak. So, what a beautiful picture, though. Right?
Terrible.
Oh, I cracked my back a little bit.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. We got a lot of segments out of today. What do you think about that?
I was gonna say, does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns?
Oh, you ready to bang out?
Oh no, I meant.
Oh no,
does
I'm
anybody
ready.
have a question? I'll answer it.
I'll answer it right now.
We have a little bit of time left.
Yeah, we tend to go for a while. It's already been about 3 hours now.
What?
It's almost 3 hours that we've been doing this.
All right. Well, okay.
No, not a bad way. I'm just like, I like it. I like hanging out with my wife on stream. We have a lot of fun conversations. We say a lot of intelligent things. You know?
Sometimes.
We got some money today. People donated to us. That was cool.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Soon we're going to set up memberships, and we're going to, we were talking because we're not allowed to do giveaways that are locked behind a paywall, or you don't have. So we were going to do like $5 and everyone's entered. We're not going to do that. So we think we're just going to do like a $2 one. That's it. Nice and simple.
I don't know what Dreamlight Valley is.
It's a Mario Kart, but for Disney.
No.
What's better, burgers or pizza? I don't know right now. I'm in a pizza mood.
Pizza.
I look kind of hot today.
You do.
Play with me a little later. You already did. All right, listen. Let's talk about this.
Was the person who fell out the window onto the driveway okay? Yes, they are still kicking.
Oh, thank God. They're still kicking the windows. And they're jumping.
They're just
old.
It's funny because so this is something like new too. This is the first time that we have like an actually aging population within the IDD community. Because this is the first round of people that were moved out of institutions. Yeah. So we're actually having like a huge problem in group homes where we bought all these group homes that were 2 floors.
Yeah.
And now everybody's old and they can't
get
go
up
the
stairs
anymore.
That's so funny.
And so like
it's not funny, but it's interesting.
No, it's actually like really horrible because there's nowhere for them to live.
Why not get them like the thing that pushes them up the stairs, like the motorized seat?
I don't know. I mean, there's probably a bunch of like risk involved with that. But yeah, so there's also like there's the I guess gay male population. This is the first time, not the first time that there's an aging population, but there was like a gap in the population because of the AIDS epidemic.
Interesting.
But yeah, so that person who jumped out the window, they are at a different house now and they are old and To my understanding, they're just as spicy, but just a little older.
Yeah. We think about our wands, guys. Expelliarmus. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How come they never spell it?
Sure.
They go Expelliarmus, but nobody ever spells Amos, you know?
Who's X? Maybe X isn't there.
Ah, there you go. Soon. Zezer. Zexpelliarmus. You fucking didn't even laugh at that joke. You just had like a comeback. Expelliarmus. How come there's no like gay Harry Potter?
Yeah.
Stupefy.
Tell them how you were driving today.
Dude, I was driving like a boss ass bitch. You know what I was doing? I put my on like the steering wheel. I did like this. This is the steering wheel. I drove like this. I just put my finger on it and I just rolled the whole. I was driving around like a boss ass bitch.
A Disney movie tier. We would be able to do.
The only one on the list would be Up because it's the only one that made me cry. Get it? It's a tier list.
No, you cried at a different Disney movie too.
Which one?
Onward.
The fuck up.
We could do a Disney tier list if like we got a list of movies to do it from because there's just too many. You know?
True. Give me that. Give me Ron Weasley's wand back. Unless you want to hold on to it. Stop. Did you ever have one of those vibrating broomsticks that they sold back in the day? That little girls were using. They had to recall them. Bro, you know, why recall it though? Like, it's disgusting. I don't want to think about that stuff. But, you know, when I was a young man, I remember running around the house one time. Take this, stink. I remember running around the house one time looking for things to put my dick into. I was like, I gotta fuck something. Like a goblin. You know
like
what?
What?
Bro, I ran around, I got a knife, I cut a hole in my pillow to try to fuck my pillow. I tried to put my dick on like oven mitts, couch cushions.
You're lying. What a fucking animal.
Okay, I remember explicitly, I distinctly remember thinking girls are so lucky because you could put anything in your pussy. And I'm just running around trying to fuck bread. I looked at peanut butter once and I was like, I can't, this is too messy. You know?
I feel like that would be the one thing that would make sense. Move the mic backwards.
Here?
No.
What does backwards mean? Well, no, because the problem is that when I first started jibbling my jamble, what's one of the things that made me not want to do it for 6 months afterwards is because I got so upset because it made it such a big mess, and I cried the first time I masturbated. I cried, like unironically, and I got so upset I didn't do it for 6 months. It was to Girls Gone Wild on the E channel, and so. I got sad because it was messy, because it was a lot.
Stop.
It was a lot. It was a lot of vagina.
This is oversharing.
With Robin Dan.
The items would have been enough.
Items?
Yeah.
That guy's weird.
I don't know who he is.
He's internet celery. The YouTube celery. All right. All right. You just
see, the bread makes sense to me. I feel like a nice
cock meat sandwich.
A nice like a potato roll.
That's actually not a bad idea. Now I'm at an age though where food makes me horny. Isn't that weird? Incredible stuff. Anyway, guys, you sent me this the other day, and I had some thoughts and prayers to give this video. It's just silly to me. This is one of those things that contributes to like the online culture of like try to cancel everybody in your like immediate vicinity. It's like, oh, I'll put it on YouTube or TikTok. I'll put it on the TikTok. And it's just it's a woman complaining about her husband. Let's just watch it. Here, we'll watch this. Or we won't. We'll just sit here.
I'm going to show you guys what weaponized incompetence is. It's something my baby daddy loves to use against me.
So really quick, right when she said weaponized incompetence, I'm thinking buzzword, because that was like a whole big thing like a couple months ago. Everybody was like, this is weaponized incompetence, right? And that's when somebody in the relationship will be incompetent at something. And it's happened to me before. I've been with somebody who just wouldn't take, like, they'd go grocery shopping, they wouldn't take the groceries in, or they would dump, they wouldn't remember a shopping bag, so they would dump they had a shopping bag with bottles in it to do bottle water. They would just dump all the bottles on the floor. That's just passive aggressive. Things like that. It exists. But now I feel like when you use these words, it's like, oh, weaponized incompetency. And then it signals something like, oh, here we go. Buzzwords it. But let's hear.
Very, very well. Last night, I went to bed at like 10. I asked him, hey, can you please clean the bottles, right?
Yeah.
And he did. He cleaned the bottles. They're right there. He also did not put dinner away. So there's that. He was in charge of dinner last night, and he just ordered us food. I can't do that because I'm not allowed to do that. But
I do that sometimes when it's like, oh, babe, can you make dinner? Oh, what if we got McDonald's? Listen, that's not weaponizing incompetency. I'm just a little lazy. But here's the thing. When you look further into her account, the dynamic is he's the one that works and she stays home. And I understand that can be a very finicky thing, but sometimes there will be different boundaries that are set. So I get how like it's her job. Oh, she's cooking, but like it's his night to cook instead. So he's like, fuck it, I'm just going to order food. I just got home working an 8 to 12 hour shift today. I'm just going to order food. Whereas her explicit jobs, from what I've looked through her whole profile, is to be a stay-at-home mom. And there's nothing wrong with that. But understand that, like, I could see why he'd be like, you can't just order food out. But I will when it's my night. Am I speaking the facts to you, or do you disagree with me?
I hear what you're saying, but like my intuition is that like if that were to play out.
What about your in 3 wishing?
What?
You're in 3 wishing instead of 2.
Okay. Is that like it would be like presented douchily?
So you're saying that like you're fine with the concept, but you think that he would execute it in a way that was like a fuck you to her?
Not even this guy, because we'll get into how this woman's fucking annoying.
Right.
But just I don't know, the way, I don't know, whatever.
No. Like it sounds like what you're saying is that the way that he would do this, or some
a man.
He's just gonna act like a man. It's like, it's your turn to cook. Oh, I'm just gonna order something then because that's not my job, right? That's the kind of attitude.
Yeah, it wouldn't be like, oh, you know what? Like I worked all day. Like I don't feel like cooking, but I'll order food. Like, what do you want? It's gonna be like, no, like I worked all day, so I'm gonna order food.
Yeah. You think he's being kind of an asshole about it. Yeah. My perspective though is that like in the dynamic, it doesn't matter who's the one staying at home and who's the one going out or working. But like it's her job to cook and clean. And like it makes sense that he would have a day where he would do like cooking, because like I get it. You take a break from your job for her. I get it. But like I could see why she wouldn't be able to order the food, because like he is working and he gets out of like a long day. So I can see why he would want to fudge it, but she doesn't really have an excuse to fudge it unless she's like sick. Does that make sense?
I feel like I'm disagreeing with you a little. Like, yes, if you're like, I feel like the energy that you're giving right now is that like stay-at-home moms are not busy during the day, and I know that you don't believe that, but that's like what the energy you're saying is giving off.
Okay. Good. I see what you're saying. It's good that I'm talking to a woman about this. I said woman like a dirty man, right? I know. I'm happy that I'm talking. Okay, what I mean is like generally speaking, like that's kind of like within the wheelhouse of her job, right? And so for her to constantly go to like, I'm gonna order food today, that might be a little much. But she should be able to every once in a while order in for dinner. She'd be like, I had a rough day today, and her husband should respect that. Be like, yeah, do whatever you want.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. There shouldn't be any resentment over the idea of like, I'm just not feeling. I'm like, you worked all day, but then she worked all day. Well, it depends if they have a kid. It seems like they do. So that's like, So they okay, I get that. Okay, all right.
Anyway, he left dishes in the sink because I didn't ask him to do that either. So if I were to ask, and he left a pan over there. So if I were to ask him, hey, I thought I asked you to pick up the kitchen last night. Oh, well, you only told me to clean the bottles, and I did clean the bottles.
So just really quick, to me, this is the outcome that would happen for me as well. I will do the dishes.
I fucking know.
Just stop getting mad at me. Listen, I need to do the dishes, by the way, because like I'm home, and even though I work as well from home, but I should be doing, and like there's a bit of a mess, and like we're both just not wanting to do them, not out of passive aggressiveness, but out of laziness. So I get that, but for me, when you ask me to do something, I do it not because like, and it's not like I don't do things around it to be an asshole. It's just like, oh, my wife told me that I need to pick up those 4 socks. I've completed my task. I'm not thinking about the other sock. You know? So for me, it's possible he's using weaponized incompetence, but she didn't say clean the kitchen. She said clean the bottles. I would just clean the bottles too. And you want to know what part of it's laziness? It's like, my wife's you are the boss of the home. So whatever you tell me to do, I do it. I don't do more though. Not because I hate you, but because I'm fucking lazy and I'm a man and you need to tell me to do that.
No,
do
but
this
that's
thing.
the thing. And we kind of talked about this last time is fucking our brain, men and women are different. Men just don't fucking think. That's how I interpret it. You don't fucking think. And that's why, and we watched another video like this too, and I do get in my feels about it, where like there is like a balance of, and I'm working through it. We're only in the first 2 years of our marriage.
Okay, but
we
also
have a long way
because
to
I know
go.
the implication here is like I don't do things unless I'm prompted. I've been doing the dishes sometimes without you prompting me.
No, you have.
I still do things without you prompting me. I'm still working on the
100%.
behavior.
But there's the thing of like why, like the concept of like asking for everything, where, and so like sometimes there are days where like I want to ask you for help with things.
Yeah, and I'd be fine with it. You just don't.
No, I don't, because like for me to sit there, and because you don't, and I'm really not saying this.
Just be raw about it. Go ahead.
Because like my to-do list might have like 5 things written on it, but I know that there's like fucking 5 things surrounding that one task.
Okay.
And for me, that's that one thing. However, for you, I would have to write down those 5 things to go with that task. For me, it's like a natural thing where I just know, where like if I were to ask you to do it, I have to like sit there and like write it out. And so for me, that becomes overwhelming to the point that I'm like, fuck it, I'm just not gonna write it, and I'm not gonna ask him for help for it, because I don't know how to like writing it becomes like overwhelming.
You could write on the list, do this thing, and make sure that and then you could just tell me to make sure I do these 4 things with it. Because, like, you know, every single time you have, like, a friend coming over to stay with us, you freak out the week before. You get into moods where you don't want to do any cleaning, you know, and we end up having to do a thing. What ends up happening is that we don't get to cleaning the bathroom. We don't get to cleaning the living room or the kitchen or sweeping the floor or vacuuming the floor. We don't get to tidying up areas of their room. And what do? Husband, I need you to do these things, and they're done that day. Like, I make sure that they get done. So I can effectively do it. I think sometimes maybe the issue is that you don't have enough faith in me, and you don't say like, hey, you know what? I need you to do these things, and like, hey, make sure you do this, that, and the other. And if I fuck up, you just be like, oh, you forgot to do these 2 things.
No, I realize I'm a nitpicker.
You know, that's part of it too, is that you are a little controlling over the house. Yeah. And I'm okay with that, because that means that I have to do less work because you're so, you know. And part of my weaponizing comments is that I will intentionally put the dishes away wrong, so that you won't have me do. I'm kidding. I never do that. But you're fucking anal about the way I put the dishes away sometimes, and I just like.
Well, yes, because
I've been getting better.
You have.
And if I don't know where to put it, sometimes I'll just put it on the kitchen table and say, "Baby."
Yeah, I know.
Because I don't know what to do. I'd rather not get yelled at.
I love you, but I'll
Thank
fucking blow your spot up for this. The fucking Tupperware on the top shelf. You just fucking throw it in there willy-nilly when there's no way that you can't see the fucking pattern I have set up on that top shelf.
In a pattern, reasonably speaking. Listen, I do nice things for I do nice things for you as well. Okay, randomly without asking, mostly buying you Squishmallows. Okay, we have different love languages.
I know. I love you. I
love you
feel
too.
like I love
you're
you.
Not
and
a bad
wife. I need to ask you for help more.
Yes, yeah. And one of the reasons I keep saying that to people don't know, my wife will spiral, and because she thinks she did one thing wrong, she'll think she's the worst wife in the world. Like you're not. Then I get self-conscious about sometimes the way that we talk. We, you know, because you feel terrible, like you do like nothing wrong.
We're also talking on the internet.
Yeah.
Because remember.
What?
I'm a big, mean, horrible wife.
Oh, yeah. You're an incredible wife. Let me tell you. Very good wife. Very attentive to my needs. You know what I'm saying? I'm attentive back to your needs. Let me tell you something. I'm not going to overshare. But
that means we're about to get overshare.
One of the best things that you could do to bond with your partner is to fuck. Okay, I'm sorry. No, but seriously, those are very intimate moment. Take it seriously and be attentive to your partner, even if you have to force yourself. And then
that sounds
stop.
terrible.
Shut up and let me finish. All right, or shut up. Just kidding. I love you, but let me finish. When I say force yourself, you're not always in the. You know what? I like playing video games. I'm not always in the mood. I'll force myself to play, and then I enjoy myself. Sometimes you might be. There's sometimes where I'm lazy and I won't do things for you. Same thing for you. But like, there's moments where you got to be more attentive, and you have to force yourself, and you only force yourself for 2 minutes, and then you're like into it. You're like, oh, I like this. It's a good bonding experience. Anyway, let's move forward.
Didn't tell me to put the.
Oh, but like I was saying, I don't think that that's necessarily indicative of weaponized incompetency. It's also can be considered being a man.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. It's not weaponized incompetency. Men just don't fucking think.
Yeah, that's just me. I'm the free thinker because I freed my thought a while ago, so I don't have to do them anymore.
Food away, and you didn't tell me to clean up the rest of it. That's weaponized incompetence.
No, it's
He's
not.
playing stupid to basically win an argument. Don't settle for this. I'm going to start doing videos like this because I can't get out of my situation anytime soon.
This is the worst part of it. Is like I'm gonna do this a lot. I'm gonna put my laundry on social media because I can't escape this situation. That's the implication, guys. I can't escape, but I'm gonna put it on TikTok and everyone's gonna see it and he's gonna see it. If he was not to be an asshole, but if he was this horrible guy, you wouldn't be putting this on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Not because that could put you in serious danger from him. It sounds like you guys are assholes to each other. You deserve each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm getting out of this.
There are many different forms of abuse, and this is
abuse.
one of them.
No, it's not. That's laziness. Not everything is abusive. That's just laziness and being a man. It's the same thing when my wife. When my wife does this thing called chain sentencing, where she just talks. I'm just kidding. I'm teasing you. But my wife likes to talk to me about her day and like a lot of things. And
I talk so much.
It's okay. I like it. Don't stop doing it. Okay, but that's like being a man, not doing everything when you say to do something. I only do that thing, not because I hate things, but that's because that's just men. And for women, you talk a lot. Every day we talk about going to Disney. Every day we talk about going on a camping trip. We talk about your day, of course. We talk about, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. But like that's not weaponized machine gun conversation. Are you getting upset?
Yeah.
Why are you upset? I like it. No, you don't. I like it, and especially because you like it. You like talking to me, and that makes me very happy because we're best friends. Don't get upset. I like it. Stop being upset. I love you a lot. Listen,
I'm still on my period, guys.
Yes, she is. She is.
Been 11 days.
But don't get upset by it. Don't get upset with that. Because you remember you blew me up a little bit the last time too. But you weren't mean about it.
What do you mean?
Well, just now you were like, I'm gonna blow you up and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know.
So don't get upset. I love you.
I love you too.
I like talking about all that.
I want you to mess up my Tupperware for my whole life.
Okay, well, I'll get better at that. That's a little different, but I love you. Mwah. Anyway, I checked out her page, and like, it just seems like a big, like, it's just give me attention.
Give me one.
It's like, give me attention. Like, oh, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and like, here's my kid.
Wearing her mushroom dress today, actually, and her little bike.
Yeah, she just wants to be like famous.
Good morning.
Look at this. Uh-oh, silly, funny, quirky video incoming. She dropped the cap on the floor. That's how you know, drop the cap, bitch. Stop lying about in that other video.
I went to bed last night until like midnight because I was answering a lot of your guys' questions and like I was texting a lot of you guys.
That's a fucking big ass cup. Is that her coffee cup?
Yeah, too much. Too many calories,
It
girl.
looks like a measuring cup.
That's too many calories, girl. You gotta stop. We're not
Shut
calling
up.
you fat. We're not calling you fat. That's just that for us. You know, we got a little bit of the meat there, you know.
15.7 thousand of you guys now that are following me, and I just want to say, hey y'all, hey. My name's Heaven. I'm 23. I'm a state.
Once I heard that her name was Heaven, like now, like I think that it is acceptable to not care about people based on their names. If your name is Heaven, no, I don't care about you. You know what I mean? Keith, no, thank you. Not happening. You know.
Stay-at-home mom. I have a little baby girl named Lainey, and
by the way, I'm sorry for pausing a lot, but like the whole thing before, where it's very real that like there are women that are stay-at-home moms that can't escape their situation and can be subjected to abuse, especially when they're in the very traditional relationships, especially when there's like religious authority looming overhead. Because a lot of times, instead of going to the police if your husband becomes abusive, you know, you go to the church and they kind of just like, hey, you won't hit her again, right? If you do, though, 5 Hail Marys, 6 actually, right? Throwback. But I just feel like here there's a difference between being trapped to abuse versus being trapped due to complacency. And like that's one of those things. She is not afraid of her husband hurting her or reprimanding her. She's all over social media trying to become famous. So if she did leave, the husband would have to pay for the lawyer costs, I believe. And she would just have to get a job, but she just doesn't want to. So she's not trapped in her situation based on what she's saying and the way she's displaying herself. She's complacent and she doesn't want to try and change it because she likes most of it, but she doesn't like that her husband is sometimes an asshole, but she's also an asshole. That's my opinion. But like, you wouldn't be on social media with a viral video about how your husband's abusive and because he only cleaned the baby bottles instead of put away the pizza, which, by the way, you can let Papa John sit out all night and you can still eat it. What did we do? We had Domino's yesterday. We didn't finish it all. We put it somewhere in the room. I ate it for breakfast.
Domino's for breakfast.
I don't give a fuck. Boom. Okay, you don't got to put Domino's away. What did my wife do yesterday or the day before that? She left microwaved food in the microwave. What did I do? I ate it the next morning.
Did you really?
Yeah, you said, oh, did I leave something in the microwave?
Did you try the mac and cheese?
Yeah, I ate it. It was like some mac and cheese and sausage, and I ate it.
It wasn't too bad, the mac and cheese.
It was fine. Is that the vegetable mac?
Yeah.
It wasn't too bad. Yeah, it was fine. So
Maybe 1 in like 2 days. No, on the 11th. Flip your chair over. Oh, girl.
Did you like that?
What did you just say?
Did you like that?
Did I like what?
You know what I'm talking
Did I
about.
like what, babe?
The armpit.
Why you gotta out me? You told me not to overshare. I like armpits. I don't know what it is, but as I get older, there's something about it.
Do you like all armpits or my armpits?
I'm starting to like armpits in general, but I really like your armpits.
No, I like his armpits.
You like them for like I think it's a pheromone thing.
Yeah,
I think that's why I started to like them because like I started to like yours, and I realized how sexy armpits can be. There's something just weird about our relationship where like there's nights where you smell, but not like because you're dirty.
Oh my fucking God.
Shut up. It's because like it's just like we're in bed and maybe we sweat a little bit and I can smell your pheromones and I'm just like laying up on you. I'm just smelling you and it makes me it engorges me. You know what I mean?
All right, we're getting a little too far. I'm
Okay.
uncomfortable.
Okay, I love you. All right, I love you. Sorry. Whoa, look at this. She hit the whip and the nay-nay.
I don't know if I'm wearing my hokas or chacos.
These are the shoes my husband beats me with. Like, what's going on here? You know what
I mean? Baby.
Listen, if she's not getting beaten, so it's okay. I'm sorry. That was a little rough.
Fragrance from Target. I don't know if anyone really
Wait, you need to pause this video.
Why?
Because you're sick. I know you're eating bug poop when you leave your pizza out. I don't know where the fuck you live. We ain't getting bug poop on our fucking
Can I tell you
food.
something though? Yesterday, okay, this is one of the things. We're throwback to my obsessive compulsive behavior and how it's the reason why I engaged with it is because sometimes I reap a benefit and I'm like, I have to be obsessive compulsive. Okay, today I went into our bedroom and there was something on the floor. I dropped something. I picked it up and I'm like, oh, I saw a coin on the floor. So I was like, but I didn't pick it up at first. I'm like, I should pick this up because I need to pick this up or something bad will happen or something good will happen if I do it. So I picked it up and then I saw that we had a Domino's box under the bed from like a month or two ago with chicken wings that were all finished. I was like, see?
Oh my
God. But the obsessive compulsive behavior was necessary. So I picked it up and I went to throw it away and I was like, I shouldn't open this. And I did. I went to throw it away. I'm like, I'm gonna open it, and opened it, and there was no bugs on it. It was fine. I ate all the chicken, so it was okay. Like it was all gone, so we didn't waste any food. But the putrid smell was fucking incredible. What do you think about that?
I can't believe you just told this story.
But that's why my OCD. I need to do what I do.
Oh my God, whose side of the bed was it on?
Mine. Yeah.
All right, I take it back about my comment. Maybe we do have bugs in our
We don't have any.
house.
There was no bugs in the house. It just smelled. We don't have any bugs in the house, except for that spider. But okay.
I think it's the vanilla one.
All right. Anyway, this is boring.
Why are
for
we
her.
watching her?
We're just kind of going through like her wanting to be an influencer, and like this is her thing. She wants to make content. She does stupid shit, like she gets toothbrush paste all over her shirt. This is what she wants to do. She wants to be famous. And what's this?
So the point of that video went over like a lot of y'all's heads because I said I wasn't allowed to order food for dinner, and I'm not.
Oh, what does it say? Why he gotta buy dinner and put it away in my house? If you cook, you don't clean, and if you buy, you don't pack up. Right? The comment's kind of dumb, but also like she turned it into an abusive scenario. So good, she deserves backlash.
Do get access to money though and things. Like he does give me money. He doesn't completely restrain me from everything. But no, I can't order food for dinner. And
no, stop. Yes, she can. Listen, I don't have any problem with the concept of an allowance. What do you?
No.
I think that's if that's in your relationship, like, hey, here's
if you're not working.
Yeah, and you get an allowance, I think that's fine. Like, hey, you know what? You have an allowance. I give you $100 a week, or $50, or even 20 or 40, because like not everybody has a lot of money. You do whatever you want with that money. She has an allowance. She could buy dinner, but she would rather spend it on herself. She's allowed to buy dinner, but she would, and that's fine. You do you, but like, don't bitch about it. He gives you like an allowance. You do your thing. You know what I'm saying? Like that seems reasonable to me. But when he gets out, like, bro, he seems like a normal. This isn't. She's a goober.
And yes, I do know what that is, and I have been in therapy, and I know very well the game of what I am in right now. But part of his game was he got me financially bound to him. So no, I can't just
see. He groomed her in some capacity. He got me financially bound, bro. You could get you. There are. I'm pretty sure this is like this. I could be wrong. Either there will be lawyers that will be provided to you for free, especially as a mother, especially if you're in England. But she sounds like a fucking Southern hick. Or the husband would have to pay for the divorce. Like, I'm pretty sure those are true. You could leave, but you'd have to get a job. And what you want to do is you want to be an influencer and make mommy videos. She's full of shit. Bro, this is wild. She's destroying the narrative of abuse people. Because people who are like in abusive situations, like they're truly fucked. But like you being too lazy to want to get a job out of the fear of retaliation, that's not abuse. You're lazy. And you're complacent into a situation. Do you disagree with me?
Fundamentally, no.
What do you disagree with me in this case on?
We don't know what the situation is, blah, blah, blah. But she's being just like dumb about it.
You're right. There might be something we're missing. But my thing is that you wouldn't be making social media content out of your husband's abuse if he was an abusive person.
Yeah.
I don't believe that you would be doing that.
No, 100%.
Not if you're still in the relationship and you're like, oh, he's so abusive. So would this not make him hurt you or abuse you more? Like, of course it would. Like, you're not, and she's not for, like, I just don't believe that she's bound to the home. Or
no, I think that there's like this weird thing going on, and we're not getting in specifics of anything. But there seems to be like a weird interpretation happening of like, because I've seen it multiple times.
It's
again, in personal life.
It's a victim mentality, is what's happening.
No, I'm saying specifically though, like there's women who have babies, and in their situation, it is cheaper, or it not even cheaper. It like evens out. Like basically, if the mother worked and paid for the child care, it would even out. Like they would just be working to pay the child care.
Sure, okay.
So it just like makes more sense for them to just stay home and then the husband or father be the one working.
Okay.
And then because the husband or the father is the only one working and they're saying like, hey, like we don't have money for A, B, and C, it becomes like, oh, like they're telling me I can't do these things.
But that's the
blah,
problem.
blah, blah.
It's the victim mentality associated with it. What it sounds more like to me is maybe they have limited funds. But when
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But like just not for nothing, but just the fact that there is apparently, she hinted or alluded to a designated night where he cooks suggests to me even less likeliness of abuse. because he's working all day and then coming home and he has an expected day of him cooking and he just didn't cook that day. So like he's still sharing the household role, which isn't very usual in a traditional relationship. Like we don't know this, we don't know that. She's giving us what she's putting on the internet, and she does not seem like somebody that's abused in any capacity. She's a fibber.
Mm-hmm.
And she's watching other people's TikToks and it's like, oh my God, I must be abused. No, she could get a job and she could get a job if she wanted, but she wants to do what she wants to do what she's doing. And that's fine. But she's acting like it's abusive because he's like, oh, here's an allowance, but I'm not gonna, like, on your nights to cook, like I'm not gonna buy food for you because we need to save money. Like, no shit. Like also, I think that some people come at this from like a very privileged perspective. When you don't have a whole lot of money and on a one household salary, that maybe that's probably the case. It's not like going out to eat. Like we can afford to go out to eat every night, and sometimes we do that. I don't know if you guys can tell. Not everybody's in that situation, so it's like that's not abuse to be like we're. Because I was in a situation where I was hemorrhaging like I was like tens of thousands of dollars in debt. We didn't have the money. Like that's not fucking abuse. It's like I don't have money. I can't afford to go out every fucking night. You got to cook. So
I can't start a GoFundMe and get money and leave because I'll break my lease and then I won't have rental credit. It's so sticky. My cell phone is in his name.
You could just remove it from his name. She's making excuses. Imagine him seeing this. There's no way he wouldn't have access to seeing this. At this point, I'm convinced it's a conspiracy theory to just manipulate the internet so she can get attention, and he's like fine with it. He doesn't care. I can't leave because then I have to pay for my own phone. Like, come on, bro. Like, he doesn't control your phone forever.
And he never said he'd take the phone away from me, but I don't know. I don't know any of that. But no, this was not about whose side are you on, who do you think's right, who do you think's wrong. I just wanted to give an example of weaponized incompetence because that's what it is. I don't care if the pizza was still good. I don't care who you thought was right and who you thought was wrong. Yes, there are two sides to every fucking story. I wasn't going to reply to any of the comments just because I was like, whatever, like they're going to comment whatever they want. But I am going to address that. Like, I am not in a horrible situation where I am detriment to need to get out. But there are toxic behaviors that are going on in my relationship.
Those are two completely separate things. Being in a situation that you need to get out of and having some toxic behaviors is normal, frankly. Like, there are times where the two of us fight. You can consider that toxic. Sometimes over stupid shit. But, like, at worst, she's in a relationship she's not happy in. And she's calling it abuse. That's it. That's all it is.
And if I was shown these behaviors beforehand, I would have been in a lot better situation, you know? Like, actually given the examples, so.
Wow. Well, what would you have done? Would you have gotten a job? Oh, you could still do it. All right, you know what? Fuck this girl. That's all I have to say. Do you agree or disagree?
Agree.
Okay. My wife doesn't care about this topic anymore. All right. I think that's good. These other things we could probably save for next. What do you think about that? Stinkabingus. Hey, you hurt me. I'm just kidding. You hurt me. Okay. Well, I burped.
Bless you.
Thank you. God bless you. What did you think about today?
It was something.
You didn't like today?
It was all right.
What do you feel? What was wrong with today?
I think there was some heavy topics. Maybe some things I wasn't 100% interested in talking about, so I don't know how it came across.
I get that.
And
well, I'm here to carry it, baby. If it doesn't go that well, bro. Can we say that the Adam Sandler one was very engaging though?
It was. My face is blocked.
I have to get a new setup. All right. I have to get a new setup.
This couch ain't comfortable because if I sit up straight, the mattress slowly
Shifts
slips forward.
You didn't like the pizza box story? You love that one.
No, I didn't fucking like that story.
Well, either way, I think that we had a good stream, and I want to get off and go take a piss and set up the stream, and I want to eat something. I'm hungry. What do you think about that? I'll eat your butt.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, guys, I appreciate you guys stopping by.
Happy Robin Dan Day.
Happy Robin Day. Robin Day. I had a lot of fun today. It was nice to stream. We always stream for a long time. It was about 3.5 hours, which is pretty
Jeez
good.
Louise.
I know. Oh my God. But I always like talking to you. You make me happy. You're my best
I
friend.
love you, husband.
You're my best friend, baby.
We have fun together.
We do all the time. It's incredible stuff. Incredible stuff. All right, guys. I love you all. I appreciate you guys stopping by. There's a good amount of people, like 50 people. I love it. I think that's fantastic, especially for fucking 12 in the morning.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys a lot.
If you want us to do a Disney movie tier list, list the movies.
Yeah, list the movie. Make the tier list and send it to us. There's tier list makers. So yeah, guys, take care. Have a good one, and I'll probably see you tomorrow on my stream. I don't know about Monday. Just so you guys know, a little sneak peek. I got Kelly Cadigan for Monday, so that's not going to be on stream. It's going to be off stream, and I'll probably post it on Tuesday. So anyway, guys, bye. Have a good one.
Have a good night.
Bye.